Hey, what's going on, people? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the show. Tonight is Speak Pipe night. That's right. We're going to listen to what you guys have to say when you left your messages and how everything went. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me, you can see me. So go ahead and leave some ones in the chat. If you can hear me, you can see me. The sound is okay. Looks like it might be a little low. All right. All right, let's get it. Yeah, been a very eventful week, I guess. Not well. I mean, in Sister Wife Land, we had the per usual from the the duo of Desperado. Uh, two shall not be named, or at least I try not to name. Um, but yeah, we had some. I thought last week was an interesting show. I did a video on it where I was talking about it. This is the video thumbnail. If you guys want to check it out, well, let me drop the banners so you guys can actually see it. Yeah, one family, two realities, where we talk about real grief and real cringe. Check that out. Put a, trying to make it entertaining while at the same time just pointing out the ridiculous nature of a lot of what we saw in last week's episode. Now, the funny thing is, and I want to be very, very clear about this. The funny thing is with last week's episode, I know they do a lot of filming, and maybe that's part of my problem. Like I try to be too fair, like with with Curly Cute Kid and Crybrows. I try to be too fair, but here's my attempt at being fair. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's gonna get rocky. All right. In an attempt to be fair, I think that there is a possibility that they recorded like segments of their trip where Robin and the Code Man Codesta were acting sympathetic to the task at hand. Okay. I think that is a possibility that they might have filmed those parts and they thought they were going to be included. Always keep it in mind that when you film these type of reality shows, one of the major drawbacks for anybody who is ever thinking about getting into any kind of entertainment and deciding to go down this path where you're shooting reality shows, you have to understand you do not have final cut or final edit approval. They will cut the film, the material however they see fit. However they see fit. So you could have had a situation. I don't know if this is true. Okay, this is where it gets kind of itchy. Like my back, when I start lying, my back get itchy. Right? I'm getting kind of itchy in the back. My shoulders is tightening up. Um, there could be a possibility where they actually had a very sympathetic scene and it was very emotional and and they talked about like their time with Big G and how they missed them, and TLC could have decided to show the sign stuff. That is a possibility. The thing is, I would be a little surprised if that was the case. If that was the case, because if that was the issue, out of respect for my loved one, I'd have been the first one there saying, this isn't what happened. I would have took to social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. And we would have had a whole conversation about how this isn't fair because they showed Christine, Mary, and Janelle, the OG3, showed them in a very sympathetic, vulnerable light. I did the same thing for my segments, and you guys showed me out shopping for toilet tissue. Like, no, we're not doing that. Like, that would be my response, but we never got that. We never got that. So this is why I'm kind of thinking it is what it is. It would also be huge in the sense that if they did have that, holy smokes. If TLC actually had that content where Short King and Robbins was actually being sympathetic and being human during this time, and they decided to show the sign stuff, you guys, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Like, that would be a bad sign for them. That means that moving forward, every cut and every edit you get is going to be a bad look for you guys. So at that point, I would say you need to come out and start defending yourself. But you guys do what you want to do. You're successful. You've been on a TV show for 19 seasons. Who am I? You know what I mean? Who am I to judge you guys? Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not on television. So, but yeah, if you guys want to leave a message, that's why we're here for this. Speak pod. What's going on, Carmel Cuties? What's happening? Got Carmel Cuties, Lizzie B in the house. All right. Necklace 3, what's up? Brittany, not Brittany. The gang's all here. What's up? Yeah, so she back. Carmel Cuties back in the house. Taking ass and kicking names. You know what I mean? But watch yourselves. Got Lizzie B up in the house with Speakpipe. If you guys want to ask questions, you want to leave a comment. We also have a couple in here where you know what? I was going to do because I had a couple people call in and they didn't want to be on the on Speakpipe, but they left some really good messages that I think I might actually turn into videos. So you never know. That might actually happen. So if you don't hear if you called in, left a question or commentary and you don't hear it today, that's what I think I'm going to do. I might be folding it into another video. So you'll be getting my response. It'll just be in more of a formatted conveyance or parlance as opposed to the live. All right, but well, I guess we can keep that up. If you guys have any questions, comments, or whatever, this time is just for you guys. It's an opportunity because I like to get as many people involved with the show as possible. We have this Sunday night show where you can call in. That's usually where we run the after show, after party, after show, post show after party, I guess is the best way to say it, where Sister Wives airs, then we come right after and we talk about it. Because I just find I get to sleep better if I get a lot of that foolishness off my chest, off my soul. So you guys can call in for that. Then we have, of course, the comment section. You guys keep the chats popping all the time, the comments in the videos and stuff. I appreciate that. We have that as well. And, of course, we have Speak Pipes, which is tonight. Just because we have, I'm going to try to, limit the time so we're not doing a 5-hour live. I'm going to jump right into the Speakpipe messages, and then we'll start from there. All right. So here we go. Let me just check some things before we get rolling. All right. Let's take a listen. We have right off the rip. We have a person calling in. They didn't leave their name. I'm fine with that. Or if you don't want to have your message played, just say, please don't play this. And I've had a couple of those this week. So I don't play them and I will talk about them. All right. But let's take a listen to what Anonymous has to say.
Hey, James. What is your feeling towards Robin not seeming to be sad about Garrison's passing? You think she would be. And you think she would be considering she's the best sister wife and everybody should look up to her and idolize her. So why is she so disconnected? What's your thoughts?
Had to get a little refreshment. I'll have only one cup. It's not the number of cups, it's the size of the cups because size matters. All right. What are my thoughts about Robin? Why is she so disconnected? I think the funny thing is that this is actually one of the weird places that we find like the most recent cast for Disney evil stepmother. Like, I, I think it's a weird place because one could argue that based on their faith and how their religion is dictates that people are supposed to maintain frame. They're supposed to stay stoic, right? This is what one of the things that we saw when she was actually delivering her children. She wouldn't scream, holler. She tried not to show any real emotions, and she just basically, doing a frown face, and she was pushing the baby out, right? And that was supposed to be like a big deal that she didn't show any emotion. And one could argue that in this particular case, because she's trying to be stoic, that she wouldn't show a lot of emotion when it comes to something that's serious or something that's involved with one of the children. She has to be that rock for the other kids and other family members, because that's what being a good sister wife is. The problem that I have with that particular theory, because I like to look at the entire thing, is that so I can understand like where they might be coming from. And then of course we have to splash a little bit of reality on it. And in a historical context, when I look at it, there are a lot of points where she cried every episode for 18 seasons. This woman has cried hysterically for 18 consecutive seasons. Every episode, you can't find me one episode in that series where she didn't cry. Okay, that's why they call it cry brows. They call it crytastic. You know what I mean? Well, I call it that. But she's always cried. So it's not like for me to take the position that she's being stoic or she's not showing emotion because she's trying to be strong. It's amazing to me that you're so able to contain yourself and control yourself when you have something this serious, the loss of a child, this serious. Like even, okay, fine, even, keeping it a buck. I know they say that all these kids are our kids, but look, we'll keep it a buck. You didn't accept him as your child. Okay, fine, that's cool. But I didn't even know this dude. I didn't know him personally, and his death affected me. So I couldn't imagine, like, I have people in my life, and I've come in contact with people whom I did not like or care for or had disagreements with, but I never wanted anything bad to happen to them. And when bad things did happen to them, whether it's loss of life or somebody loses a home or a job or whatever the case may be, I would feel bad for them. Even if they wish those things on me, I would feel bad for them because that's somebody who I've come in contact with. I don't want anybody to lose, right? And so the idea that you could be okay with this young person passing away, especially the way that he did, is very weird to me. Like I can't explain. Like I have no words. And this would actually be a point where I wish they actually did shoot the tell-all after the seasons aired or after these episodes aired, because I would like to have some questions and I would like questions answered, and I would like to hear in context what it is she's thinking, why she's acting the way she is, and why she's not reacting the way that I think a normal, not even so much a normal person would, but I don't understand how you are so emotional when it comes to a wedding dress or when when the when the crusty courtesan showed up to your house to court you. I don't understand why you were upset and crying about him being your soulmate, but then when somebody, a young person passes away, it's like you have zero feeling towards it. Oh, we're looking at signs. Oh, I'm trying to look pretty out in the freaking street. Like, what the shit? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And because you're on a reality show, normally I wouldn't even comment on how somebody grieves. I would not comment on somebody outside the context of like a reality show and how they grieve. I try not to get too deep into reading why people aren't acting the way they should be acting, whatever the case may be. Maybe they're still in shock. Who knows? But because you're on a show and there's an opportunity for you to give context or depth or explanation to why you're doing what you're doing, I think that they should take advantage of that opportunity. Just kind of where I'm at. Jada P said her soulmate's child. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and he's like supposed to be all upset, but she comes out and she's like, "Oh, it's like I was going through some things." What? And that's the very subtle difference. If you do a compare and contrast, and maybe I will do a compare and contrast to how Crowsfoot does the her condolences for her husband versus how David tries to comfort his wife Christine. Like there is a distinct difference when Creddy is sitting out there and he's all upset about what happened to his son and this, that, and other, and they're by the fireplace. She comes out and she starts talking about herself and how this is impacting her and how this is going to affect her and how she's going to look after this. When you look at David, it's all about Christine. Like he did talk about his wife, and there's a very subtle difference. He talked about his wife and his wife's passing, but only in context to understanding, trying to let Christine know that he understands the kind of pain that she's going through. He did it as a connection device, not as a way to say, "Oh, you're in a bad position. Well, let me one up your ass." Like this is like a morbid ass game of fish stories. I caught a fish that was this big. Well, I went out and I caught a fish that was this big. Like it was like it's one of the weird, creepy ass things that she's doing. It's weird. Like, and the best part is they sit around and talk about like the curse of comparison and how comparison is the devil's workshop or some old craziness. But that's essentially what that is. Oh, you're hurt? Well, I'm hurt worse. How bad are you hurt? Oh, you gonna cry? You gonna cry? Psh, hold my beer. I'm gonna cry bigger than you. I mean, that's kind of where we are. So I don't know. I like she's like, this is one of them things. Like if they want to rehabilitate, this is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. But if they really want to rehabilitate their image, first of all, get a PR consult. Maybe I don't freaking know. Like buy a soul. I don't know. But you guys have to do better. Because you are never going to win people over. With the way you're presenting yourself, you're being presented on this show, you will never win people over. A beloved character passes away on the show, but it's not a show for you guys, it's real life, right? They pass away, and you go out and look at signs in a neighboring town while you're supposed to be going to bed. Like, what the shit? What? Who decided this? I mean, I understand, like, you go somewhere maybe on your way there, but I would have did that without the cameras around. That would not have been a thing. Yeah, guys, I thought maybe we could film you. No. I'm just going to show my kids this stuff and then let that be that. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with Spicy Rita. I felt like David was trying to was also saying, don't be surprised if you're still hurting many years later. And I think that that's absolutely true. Anybody who experienced any type of loss, whether it's a parent, sibling, child, especially, that's going to be something that sticks with you. I was watching just real quick, just on this thing. I was watching Equalizer 2. Just fell into it. Like there are parts of it I like, and I wound up watching the whole thing. I'm sure everybody does that thing. So, like, I like the part when a girl gets taken advantage of, and then Denzel go up and like, yo, normally I give you guys a chance, but I'm gonna need your phones. I'm gonna need anything that you recorded, what you did to her now. And he broke them dudes up like cheap China, boy. He broke them down like lawn furniture. So I watched that, and then I watched some other parts, and I wound up watching the whole movie. There's a part in the film where he comes across a guy, and the guy kidnaps his daughter, basically. And he says to the guy, I'm going to give you a choice. In life, there's two kinds of pain. There's the pain that hurts, and there's the pain that alters. And when you and I thought that was a very powerful statement, especially in light of what we're talking about now in the subject matter, because there's pain that hurts. Watching a kid fall down, that hurts. Watching a parent maybe have like an emergency or medical emergency, that hurts. But the loss of somebody, especially like this, that alters. That's the kind of pain that changes everything about you. Like, even to a degree, and this is a weird thing, this is a very personal thing, but the people that I've known that passed away like this, the people surrounding them, it changed how they identified themselves. It messed with their self-identification, their ability to look at themselves and how they saw themselves. It alters. Like, this is the pain that alters. And when you're dealing with something that heavy, it's just weird that it doesn't seem like it's affected them at all. Like, they don't seem like they missed a damn beat. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm really, really, you guys, I don't know if you can feel it or you can sense it, but I'm really, really trying to be fair to them because of the loss that they did suffer. I'm trying to be fair and trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm telling you, they making it hard on the play up in here. This is every time I try, it's like, James, you ever talk to yourself like that? Like, you be doing something, you like, come on, man, this ain't no. But you think maybe, perhaps, no, there ain't no way in the damn world. That don't even make sense. Not even a little bit. That makes zero sense. You're giving them too much credit. Like, I feel like I'm at that point, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, truth to oneself. Truth to oneself. Love Denzel. Yeah, that dude's a crazy talent. Crazy talent. Like, you know what I mean? Crazy talent. I could go on forever about that, but we'll go on to the next person. Thank you so much for kicking that in, Spicy Rita. Spicy Rita with that hairdo. That hairstyle is dope though. Charisse.
Hi, James.
Charisse.
This is Sharice. I was calling in to talk about basically the family's mourning overall. And I know like it was discussed on Sunday night show, but it really bothers me that Cody sits in that confessional room and puts on that smug face, just like Robin, sitting in that confessional room, putting on them fake tears, and he sit there with that face like, oh, I'm so sad about my son. Oh, I'm so lamenting, blah, blah. And all you get to Cody, Wyoming, and talk about is them damn signs. Nobody gives a fuck, Cody. Nobody gives a fuck. Only you. Your kids, them kids don't care. Your wife don't care. Nobody gives a fuck. Let's talk about Garrison. And I know everybody is trying to be nice about the conversation about it, but at this point, I've had enough of trying to be nice about Cody because he not grieving his son. He might you know what, he is grieving his son. He's grieving all of the things that he fucked up. He not grieving like Mary and Janelle and Christine. And Robin damn sure ain't grieving. She ain't grieving shit. She just over there in the wind, focused on her kids.
Yeah, you know what? Came in blazing. Sharice was too hot to trot. Um, yeah, I see. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I'm kind of Teresa sending it. Teresa Skinner. Salute, Teresa Skinner. I see Mama Squirrel in the house too, and Negla 3. I like to think maybe they have compartmentalized their emotions, but then I know they're not that good. Yeah, that's kind of one of the weird things about it. Like, that's where I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, sometimes people just can't face the pain, so they distract themselves with other things, so they really don't ever feel the pain, which is crazy. Like, you have to, at some point, you have to deal with it. You have to unpack it. Like, even if you compartmentalize the instance of the issues and you pack it up and I'm not going to deal with it now. Sooner or later, you're going to deal with it whether you want to or not. It's coming. It's like when you do that kind of thing, it's like running up a tab. Okay. You run up a tab of emotions, and then sooner or later that you're gonna have to pay that bill. And it's better to pay it when you're in a better situation and you're willingly dealing with it, as opposed to somebody come collecting. Because when they come collecting, it's gonna be a little rough. Just real quick, there's something that, and then I'll get in Sharice's thing. You ever notice that when ladies talk about men and they imitate our voices, why do we always sound dumb as hell? I know where she did Cody voice. I'm gonna like always every time. Why we gotta be dumb? Sound like a Neanderthal, like we are knuckle dragging. Like, what is going on? All of a sudden, we a caveman. It doesn't matter, like education and stuff. Doesn't matter how good you talk or whatever you speak or whatever the case may be. Every time, boy, they start imitating you. All of a sudden, I'm a dummy, you know. Oh man, it just cracks me up. But when what she said was like she came in hot, and I don't blame her. But Sharice said Cody is dumb. I can't debate. The crazy thing is that I see where she's coming from 100%, because again, this is what I was saying in my video. Like if you're in a situation where this is so painful that you don't even want to tape. Like, look, I don't, if something like this happened, I don't blame you for calling out of work, Jack. If there's ever a reason to call out of work where, if your job say something like this happens and your job says you can't call out of work, you can kiss my entire ass. You can take this job and do whatever you want to with it, but don't call me. Because I am out. I'm not coming in. Because that's a level of disrespect. That, to me, that's like crazy disrespect. Something like this happened in your job. Like, look, we need you in here we can't operate without you. You can operate without me. You can't operate without me. Because if you can't operate without me, then I need to be running this damn place. And I need to be getting paid a lot more damn money. Because 99% of the time, if you, look, there's a couple rules James have. when you go for jobs, you got to know what your job is and what your job isn't. And you got to get compensated for what you do and what your responsibilities are. Not most jobs. I've had really good jobs. I've had shitty jobs. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've never been compensated to the point where I miss funerals. I get paid enough to miss funerals, or I get paid enough to miss weddings, or I get paid enough where I don't take vacations or days off, or if I'm sick or something happens, I can't take. I don't get paid enough. You guys don't pay me enough. That is for me, that's a compensation level event. So if something happens, somebody in my family passed, and you can pick up the phone and tell me, James, yeah, bump that funeral. I need you to come on in. I need to have like some real fold up before I even consider doing that. And by fold up, I mean like briefcases full of money. Like I'd have to get paid like, drug lord level money. Like, you know what I mean? Like they'd have to pay me in a garage, Jack. There'd be secret cars pulling up, dudes getting out. It'd be dark. Everybody wearing trench coats. They'd be handing over briefcases type of money. I'm not getting paid. Like if you're paying me weekly or bi-weekly, I'm not getting paid to the level where I'm missing stuff. Or if I can't deal with my loss, I can't take off. So I say all that to say this. If this is something that they're really struggling with, and to the point where I can't even film, I don't want to talk about it on film, then I don't film. Guys, I need to take some time off. I do. Because even with respect to that, you are, only thing you're going to get from me is me out showing my kids damn signs in a town. There's probably how many people in Cody, Wyoming? I don't even know. Let me look this up because I understand that Cody, it looks kind of cool. Like I kind of want to go there. Low key want to go there. And check it out. It does look like a cool town. It's got 10,000 people. People. You know what I'm saying? That's a suburban town. Like, what are we doing? I am not going through Cody, Wyoming when I got that on my heart. No. You're going to get trashed from me. Then I'm going to get trashed online. YouTubers are going to come out and call me all kinds of looking like a bozo clown. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to disrespect myself, and I'm not going to disrespect the memory of my loved ones. Sorry, not sorry. Get somebody else. If the OG3 are willing to get on and they willing to cry, let them and show their emotions and let people into their grief process, that's fine. If I'm not willing to do it, then I'm not going to pretend to do it. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, that's just, oh, that's right. That's right. Because that would fall under the term of integrity. You would have to have integrity to think like that. I apologize. And clearly that's not the case. Because you don't give a shit what you put on screen for us to watch. You understand what I'm like? That's, I don't know. I'm just me. I need to reel it back. Maybe I'm being a little too hard on Miss Michelle. What's the three call him? Lord Fauntleroy. Maybe I'm being a little hard on Lord Fauntleroy. You know what I mean? Because this dude is like, I don't know. He like, it's some things that just kind of get to me. And I understand, like I said, I'm not one to do a whole lot of public displays of grief when things happen either. But I recognize that in myself, and I wouldn't agree to film it. Because if I don't want people to see me upset or grieving, then I wouldn't voluntarily put myself in a situation where it could happen involuntarily. Because like I said, it's a bill, baby. That's a bill. And that kind of loss, that's a big one. Okay. That's not a McDonald's bill. That's like straight up Ruth Chris, 4 seasons. You know, when you get the bill, you look at it, oh shit, oh damn, that bill be so high, you check your wallet high. You know what I mean? Like you do not play around with that kind of stuff. No, sir. No, sir. Like, what am I looking at? Is this a mortgage payment? Am I buying this place? Like, you know what I mean? That's a big bill, baby. So I'm just saying. But let me. Oh, we had a supercharge. Oh, we had a Brittany, not Brittany. Membership for 2 months. Member for 2 months. It says, is it just me or has Girl Bird not mentioned Janelle and her loss once? You know what? That's true. Boy Bird wasn't even talking to Big G, and she's fake concerned about him. Right. It is not like that. That's the thing too, because you would expect them to be like, you know, this terrible thing happened, and you messed up because you should have called him, or I understand that you didn't call him. You guys were in a bad place. Maybe you should call your other kids. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's weird too that they're only focused about the one when you have 12 other kids that you don't talk to either. Call them other 12. So you need to be on that phone, like, you know what I mean? Hotline and that, you know, cold calling. Hey, what's going on? Hey guys, I'm in town. Hey, I'm coming through. Hey, you know what I mean? Trying to reconnect. Like you think that this will put a spark under your can a little bit. But yeah. I agree, Brittany, not Brittany. I don't know. That the fact that they only see the laws from their respect. And that's one of the problems that I have. It doesn't feel like they're considerate of, like, okay, fine, you're not considerate of Christine and Mary, which is kind of a jerk move, but okay. But you're not considerate of his natural mom, like the person who birthed him. It doesn't seem like you're trying to include her, or at least in your segments, you're not talking about her. Like you had no problem talking trash about her and running her down and talk about how she was lazy, how she was unintellectual because she didn't know how to save like you. Like you had no problem saying that kind of stuff, throwing her ass under the bus. But when she has this kind of loss, you can't say her name once. and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to Janelle. What is Janelle going to do? You know, the crazy thing is, like I said, I had to tell my mom about it. And that was the first thing that my mom said. That was the first thing she said. We were talking about it. When I told her what happened, she said, oh my God, what's going to happen to his mom? Like, well, I can't even imagine what his mom is going through. Like, and she was like, part of her pain wasn't just the loss of our loved one, but it was also the pain of their parents or her mom, because his dad had passed away already. But no, his dad was still alive. Yeah, but she was really focused on the mom because she had a close relationship with the mom. But that's all she could talk about. Crow's nest, crow's nest and beekeeper, because they got that crazy head. They didn't say nothing. Like, they just seemed vapid about it. It's weird. It's weird to me. Again, that's another thing. Like, I agree with you, Brittany. Oh, before I go, let me give Brittany a little something. Oh man, I'm messing up. Slipping up on my dang. Then we had Gavin Val, $20 super chat. I always enjoy listening to your point of view. I always find you to be insightful, genuine, and fair in your perspective. Thank you so much. I try to be. Sometimes with these folks, though, it can be a little difficult, but I'm doing my best. I'm trying to see both ends of it or all angles of it, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Let me give you a little something. Yeah, but I think that we're all kind of vested in the show, and we want to see what's fair, we want to see what's right, and we want to see what's equitable. And that's one of the big draws I think Sister Wives has from the beginning, is that trying to understand how this type of situation can be equitable to all members or participants in this relationship. So, but thank you very much, Gabbing Val. Next up, we got Raiders Ma for that super chat. I wonder if Brianna's looking just like her mom, having her mom have anything to do with Cody favoring her. Not necessarily in a creepy way, but Aurora is her dad. Yeah. It's like the resemblance there is strong. Like, they got Mormon face. Like, it is strong. It is strong. Like, you like, even with Solomon. I mean, that they look like a piece of, like, Robin broke a piece of herself off and just set it loose in the world. Yeah, because I don't know. But I agree. Like, maybe it's him. Like, all of a sudden the wives leave and they glow up. You know what I mean? Maybe they need to set these little girls free so they can get some husbands, find happiness. It doesn't necessarily have to be with a husband, but they can find, like, happiness, because they all look like they have, like, the frown face, like like they call them smile lines. The reverse of that is smile lines. Like, when people are happy all the time, they smile a lot. They have these lines. But then, like, you have people with the frown face, and it look like they got the frown face. Like, you just mad all the time. What are you mad about? The sun came out. Okay, why are you mad the sun came up? Because I got to eat breakfast, and I don't want to eat. I ain't hungry. Then don't eat nothing. I ain't like, you ain't going to tell me what to do. Like, what? Why are you mad, though? I don't understand. Crumb Bum Cody's my daddy. Okay, there you go. See, that's just, use your words. Use your words. That's all you had to say. I don't know. That was a little rough. I apologize. I will apologize for that. That was a lot out of line. He's out of line, but he's right. Thank you so much, Raider Ma. And I got your voicemail earlier, so we're gonna be playing that tonight. All right. Thank you so much. We'll get back to the grind. Let me just go back down. Okay. And then we have Sharon.
Hi, James. Sharon here. Just wanted to touch on a few points that everybody's been discussing. Let me just first say that I lost a child 22 years ago, and it doesn't matter how old your child was, what the situation is, or anything. There's nothing like.
Before we get too far along, let's get some hearts in the chat for Sharon. My condolences, Sharon. I know you said it was a while ago, but that kind of pain, like I said, there's pain that hurts and there's pain that alters. That's the kind of pain that alters. So let's show us some love in the chat. Just as a sign of support. Thank you guys.
Pain of losing a child. While people think that, or can, say they feel like that, it was hard to understand. It is hard to understand whether you're going through it or you're just seeing somebody go through it. So my heart goes out to these parents and, of course, to the siblings as well for losing a child. And different people, do grieve different ways, just like you said. There's times when I can talk about it like now that I'm fine and everything, but even 22 years later, when I think about her or I get to really missing her really bad kind of thing, or if I, just something, any little thing can set me off with it kind of thing, I cry just as hard as I did the day she died. So that's something that these people are going to have to live with for the rest of their lives. As far as, Ramen Head and Brow Woman, I don't doubt that they're going through some kind of grief. It just doesn't seem right now that they're deep in the grief. It seems like now they're in the guilt. And as far as them going to, the signs and all of that, yeah, see, there's distractions and then there's something that makes absolutely no sense. And for, them to do this, he don't ever need to say anything about Christine taking a vacation when they went to Isabel's surgery. I don't believe that that was a vacation. She had to stay there for that time. So, no.
We're about to get into it. Sharon got another message, so I'm just going to play the second message. Sharon throwing some rocks. She's throwing some stones up at y'all. All right, let's get the second message.
Hi, James. Just expounding and finishing on my comment. So, yeah, they don't need to ever say anything about Christine having to go those days with Isabel for her surgery, because there was no way that was a vacation in comparison to what they're doing, which was clearly a vacation. Even said that it was a trip they make every year. And Miss Brow Woman, yeah, she needs to back up and think again, because she wouldn't even say bye to her kids when she was going to the hospital with the thoughts of with her with having COVID, and because she's afraid that it'd be the last time she talked to them. Yeah, lady, you better show some sympathy and some compassion here, because even that your husband is suffering through the loss of a child and the guilt that he can't make up for the things that he said and did. Yeah, no, y'all need to step up, because something's coming for you, and it's not going to be good. So just a few points on my take, James. How about yours? Have a good evening.
Sharon got some boulders, Negla 3 called it. But first, before we get into it, my condolences for your loss. Because that, like I said, and like you said, like I'm not even on me, on you. Like you said, Sharon, at the end of the day, when you have that kind of loss, and this is the trek of grief. Again, I talked about it in my video a little bit, but to be more specific about it, when you have this kind of loss, there is no schedule for it. There's no time where you can look at your calendar and be like, yeah, I should be over this by it's what, May now. So I'm looking at maybe like late June, early July. So I should be good by the 4th. I'll be good by the Independence Day. Like, that's not how it works. Like, you could be fine. Like, the crazy part is maybe it doesn't even hit you all at once. Like, sometimes you get hurt so bad you don't even know you hurt, right? That is a thing. Maybe that's where Cody is. Like, you just hurt so bad and you're hurt so deep that you don't even know you hurt, right? And then one day something happens. Maybe you hear a song, you see a sunrise, or you see a car drive by. Like, I know Big G liked this particular car. He was very excited about this car he bought that Cody told him not to get, and he got it anyway, and it was like his dream car. You could see that car drive by, maybe even the color, the way the universe works. It'll be the very color, model, and make, model, and year that was important to Big G. You'll see that pass, you're unconsolable. Like, it's just, and then another time you'll be sitting there doing nothing, laugh your ass off. 5 minutes later, you're crying again. Like, it's just, and then I can sympathize even with the idea of, you'll be fine for a period of time, and then something will happen, and it hurts just as bad as at the moment you found out about it. Like, so there is no, not only is there no timeline, but there is there's a point of, I don't know if say recidivism, but there's a point of recurrence where you just keep reliving through it. So I 100% agree with that, and it's just a weird place to be. And maybe Sharon very well may have cracked the damn code. Okay, she might be code cracking Sharon, because maybe that's what the producers wanted to show us. Like TLC's producers very well, because they remember, they got the footage. They know what was shot and what wasn't shot. They know what was said, wasn't said. And there was a point, like Sharon very, eloquently pointed out. There was a point where when Christine wanted to go visit her dad because her dad wasn't doing well, and they were about to buy the houses in Las Vegas. Cody wanted to get the houses. He told her, like, well, if you want to go see your sick dad, you want to go on vacation. Her visiting her sick father, who she thought might pass, that was a vacation. If you want to go on vacation, save up your grocery money. That's what he told her then. When she wanted to go check out her kids and make sure her kids were okay, as part of the whole COVID-19 thing, right? There is an issue with people suffering from mental health, having mental health issues because of the isolation that they felt surrounded by the pandemic. That was a real thing. There are people who are still struggling with it. The pandemic, we're not really talking about it in forms of like, oh, we're scared that this is going to happen and people are going to get sick or businesses are going to close down. But there are people who are still struggling with the effects of that, that type of isolation. So she went to go see her kids. That was a vacation. She vacationing. She's in a car by herself driving to see her kids. All of a sudden, that's a problem. Then when she went to, when Isabel went to get her surgery, and Cody, you're going to get hit with that shit forever. Like, you're going to carry that albatross around your neck to the day that you take your last breath. But when Isabel was supposed to be going for her surgery, that was a damn vacation. But then the producers set it up where you have such a traumatic experience, and basically these folks are out sightseeing. They're on a tourism event in Cody, Wyoming. Like, from what I understand, Cody, Wyoming is like anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes away from Lovell, Wyoming, where they were going to bury him, where that's where the ranch was. So you guys went sightseeing in a town over on such a terrible event. Some people might say that that's sightseeing and tourism. That's something you would do on vacation. That's what some people would say, that you're on vacation. And so from that respect, even acknowledging what Sharon said, from that respect, I got to tell you, what is it saying? Every accusation is a confession. That, when he accuses these ladies of doing some stuff, he might just be admitting that this is how I carry myself and conduct myself. So, yeah, so yeah, I'm just like you, bruh, bruh. This dude's messing up. Like I said, you should have called out of work, bro. You should have called out of work. You should have called this one in. Nope. I'm not gonna make myself look like an ass. Even if that's what you did, you should have snuck off and did that. You and your wife and the kiddos, y'all should have snuck off one night, ditched the film crew, and went and did that. Or do it, go down. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like, go down, do your stuff, and maybe see that stuff on the way back. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like crazy. Like, you have this heavy weight on your shoulders but then again, it's like months after he passed. And so it's like the summertime or what? I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But thank you for the call, Sharon. Nigga, got some boulders, boulders on your shoulders. little short king, like, you're crushing me. So we have anonymous calling in. Let's see what anonymous has to say.
Hey, James, what is your perspective on why they're not showing Cody and Robin comforting the other children, and why nobody besides Christine and Mary are there for Janelle and her children? What is your take? Why do you think they're alienating everybody else?
You know what? I think that we kind of touched on this a little bit before, that they aren't gathering around. Like, this would be the time, like, especially with the way that the show was sold from the beginning, what supposedly America fell in love with regard to the Brown family and polygamy, the idea of polygamy, was that when a family member goes through something, the entire family is supposed to circle up around them, like circle them up and protect them. And this would have been an opportunity for the family to gather and circle around Janelle, and if necessary, even circle around the curly Q cowboy. This would have been an opportunity for that to happen. But kind of like what was said before, and Anonymous is pointing out with the as far as the alienation, I think the alienation isn't a defect; it's part of the design. It's the design in the way in which, when Crabrows came into the family, this is how she set the family up. The family operated and conducted itself one way prior to her coming in. They had a family culture where they shared everything. The family was basically one family. It was like one big family, united and together. When she came into the family, she pushed the idea that the family should be segmented. So each house has each wife, and each wife lives separately, and the wives in the family don't have anything really to do with each other except for major events, usually her events, her birthday parties, etc., etc. Because, like, for instance, I noticed that if we go back through the pages of the previous seasons, that when her kids had birthday parties or things of that nature, the whole family was supposed to show up, and this was supposed to be a big deal. In fact, when they were moving initially, when they were moving from Lehigh in the second season, when they were moving from Lehigh to Vegas, they pushed the move from the runaway move from Lehigh to Vegas back, because remember, they were supposed to be leaving, I think it was that Sunday or that Monday, but they had to push it back a day or two because Crabrows wanted to have Dayton's party. And so because they were having Dayton's party, the hell with it. We got to go to jail. That's what's got to happen. But we going to partay. We going to partay for my kid. And they made sure that everybody was there for the party, and they pushed back and supposedly jeopardized the family, because they was about to swear out warrants, and Roscoe Pico train and Boss Hogg was going to come up, pull up on the yard, slam everybody on the hood of the cars, them hot ass hoods, and put them in cuffs, cuff them and stuff them, and take them down to polygamy prison. Right? That was the story we were told. But then you updated, you turn a couple pages later, couple seasons later, when Logan graduated from high school, which is a major event. Wait, like a birthday party? I'm gonna risk going to prison for a birthday party, but I can't show up on time for Logan's graduation from high school. And it's always been like that. Everybody else's kids have always been on the back page, and we've seen that time and time again. So it's not really surprising that even in light of this tragedy, their kids still wind up on the back page, on the back burner. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. They're not Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, I gotta pull it out every once in a while. Next up we have Candace.
Hey James, this is Candace. I had some thoughts on Cody's grieving of Garrison. I'm sure he is hurting and grieving in his own way, but it's different, I feel, than what the rest of the family is going through with their grieving process. I think they're feeling it so much more deeper because Garrison was so, involved in everybody's life. And they're going to really miss him because he was there. They were all there for each other.
I think it might be a delay. Let's see.
Or just the memories of when Garrison was a little boy, what Cody knew from the past. But I get the sense that Cody really didn't even know his son, and they weren't in each other's lives. And Janelle and the rest of the family has to pick up the pieces, they had to make the arrangements and, tie up the loose ends with Garrison's passing, with selling his house. Cody has to do none of that. So I just feel like it's different. And I have a very hard time feeling sorry for him because I feel like nothing has changed. He's not really connecting with his kids as far as what I could tell. All right. Thank you.
All right. I think that's excellent points. Like, I think that what that refers to more or less is the proximity. Like from where I sit, a lot of it deals with the proximity where you are in relations to the other family members. So you have situations where because they weren't around, they didn't spend time with them, they weren't really focused on them and that kind of thing. They don't have the close proximity to the loss and experiencing what had happened because you live on the other side of town and you pretended like for so many years that he wasn't a part of your situation or your family. So when you're not used to having him around, so therefore when he's not around anymore, it doesn't really change your life. Like your life isn't changed. You haven't missed anything. You're not missing anything. And there's a quote I love is that if they don't miss you in your absence, they never valued you in your presence. Your presence was never valued. And I think that's kind of the note that really hits for me when I think about what Curly Q and Crow's Nest. That when I think about what the way they're being presented on the show, I see the pain in the other people. And it's not always apparent that people grieve in different ways. But I see their pain. I don't see that in these folks. And then when you load that on top of the reality that they didn't have a close relationship with him, Big G, they weren't talking to him at the time. They were, in fact, very angry with him at the time. It begs the question, like, are they just really good at hiding how they're feeling? Or is it that they don't feel anything and they're trying to hide the fact that they don't feel anything? They're trying to so they do a lot of and one of the things I used to always say to my kids, don't confuse activity with accomplishment. Just because you're doing a bunch of stuff doesn't mean that you're actually working towards anything or you're actually accomplishing anything. So I think that they're doing a lot of the things that you should do maybe in these types of situations. Like, oh, I have his picture and I hung it up and I'm going to look at it every day. But it just happens to be in a place that, I'm I don't work on cars. I don't do things in the garage. Like I'm hardly ever out here. So, and I couldn't spare a nail, a 10-cent nail. I couldn't put a damn nail in the wall and hang the picture up. It's just kind of sitting up on top of my bureaus. But like that's how I feel about it. And then you go to bury him and you turn it into a family vacation. So it's kind of that point. Like, at what point are you valuing him and his presence because you miss him in his absence? And I think that that's the kind of the key for me, why there might be such a strong feeling as to why they're not really feeling it a certain way. But thank you so much for your call. Next up, we have Lisa.
Hey James, I just wanted to say, so I just got done watching Sister Wives, and I do think that they have TLC has done these tributes to Garrison really, really, really well. I feel like they're doing them right, and I appreciate how they're doing them. And I know I'm not the only one, but I just
Hold on. Might be something on Speakpipe. Did that bad boy just stop? Or is it still playing? Or did it stop for some reason? Let me see.
Hey James, I just wanted to say, so I just got done watching Sister Wives, and I do think that they have TLC has done these tributes to Garrison really, really, really well. I feel like they're doing them right, and I appreciate how they're doing them. And I know I'm not the only one, but I just
Well, maybe that was it. I agree. I think that they have been doing a good job with the presentation as far as the episodes have gone so far. And like I said, the feeling I have, just a prediction. The feeling I have is that these last few episodes are going to center around uh his death, the grief of that death, then possibly the funeral, and maybe the fallout as to why, you know, the family kind of broke apart. So we might be seeing it all in these next few episodes. Just saying. But thank you so much for your call, Lisa. Next up we have Adrian.
Hi, James. This is Adrian. I just wanted to say that last week's episode it didn't do Garrison any justice. And I also thought that Cootie and Sabin, both of them, Cootie especially, his devastation was mainly from guilt. He was going to stand on business that those young fellas was going to come to him and apologize to him, and he was just going to be stubborn and not give up his position on that. And I wish Sabin would actually poke herself in the eye to actually produce some real tears with what she tried to do all the time. She is ridiculous, and I can't stand her. Anyway, thanks for letting me vent. Bye.
All right, all right. Adrian's like poke himself in the eye. That's method acting. Now, look, I think that it's not method acting, but I think that like the way that TLC, and maybe I think that they did a good job. Um, it's because I'm gonna be honest. If I'll be completely honest with myself and everybody else, like my expectations for TLC was kind of like really low. So as long as they didn't shit the bed, then they did a great job. It's right, you know what I mean? It was like super low. So as long as they didn't do something like completely ridiculous during these episodes, I was probably gonna say they did a good job, because normally they do it like they have a very ham-fisted way in which they approach a lot of these topics, these subject matters, and how they've kind of dealt with issues within the family. It's been very ham-handed. So uh with that, I think that like it here's the weird thing. I think that there's a point, like as we talk about Crybrows, as we talk about her, I really think that if you don't feel anything, now would be a time for you to step aside. If you don't feel anything, like, okay, fine, you be there in support of your husband, be there in support of the kids and the family members who need said support. But if it's not like, if you're not personally vested or invested in this situation, then you could step aside. It doesn't have to be about you. And because it's not about you and it's not about your kids and it's not about your situation, then who cares? Then we need to figure out a way to make it about me. Like that's the reason why so many people dislike her as a character on the show. I'm going to be honest. Like I got to call it what it is. I think that that's a main reason, because so much of what we watched her go through and put this family through, it all centered around what she was getting out of it, how it was benefiting her, or how it was affecting her. And if it was something bad that affected her negatively, and whether it was, neutral good or neutral bad for everybody else, if it affected her in any kind of way, we were all supposed to sit around and wring hands because it affected Robin, and she going, I'm gonna look at the sky and at the sun and the moon and rub my eyes all heavy so I can try to squeeze some tears out. Like, that's what it's always been about. And what these particular episodes don't need is more of that. They need less of that. Less of that, please. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you go into a restaurant and be like, hold the onions or whatever? Yeah, hold the tears, hold your desire to be the center of attention. Now is not the time. And I think that's kind of where I am with the whole Crowbrowse situation, or input into the situation. Next up, we have Melly.
Hey, James. I enjoy watching your videos. You're awesome. Thank you for everything that you do. I'm a silent watcher, but the season has gotten me mentally and emotionally all over the place. So, with the recent episode in mind and now, it seems like Cody hasn't changed. So my question is, when do you think that will happen? When will he realize that this is the time, this is it, that he needs to make amends with his children, and even the OG3 as well, which would be nice. So for his children's sake, I hope that he does, and does the right thing soon. I know probably it's a little bit too late, but it's better late than never. So when do you think that will happen? All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Melly. I don't think it will, because there's so much development and self-actualization that actually has to happen. Like, he has to self-critique the shit out of himself, really, and start to appreciate a situation. There is a point too where pride goeth before the fall, and he's so vested in being right and maintaining his personal self-image, his ego won't let it go. And that's what has to happen. Like, he has to take his ego, put his ego in the back seat, and make room for his family members, including his children. The way back to, honestly, I don't think there is a road back to the OG3, but through their children. So if he doesn't mend those fences with those kids, I don't think he has a path back to any of those other relationships. He won't have access to them. So, just speaking strategically and realistically, like, if he wants to have a relationship with Christine, he has to mend the relationships and fix the relationships with her kids. Same thing with Janelle, especially on the shoulders of her losing a child. And his reaction and the way he treated, the cold and callous nature for which he treated that child while that child was still around and still here. You can't tell me that half this stuff that he was saying, and I'm just going to keep it all the way a buck. The stuff that he was saying when he was trying to get him put out during the 1-9 pandemic, when he was talking about, oh, he got to leave. I don't want him in the house. He's a grown ass man. He need to find a place to stay. Oh, but he's very close to getting his own place. He's very close to a down payment to buy his own house. I don't give a shit. He got to go. Like, he was doing all that. He came with all that smoke. Oh, they need to come to me and apologize and kiss my ass. And not only do they got to kiss my ass, but I'm going to have my wife kick her skirt up so that they can get a full moon on that saloon and they can kiss her ass too. That's where he was. That's what he was saying the whole time. Like, they got to apologize to me and they got to come over and apologize to my wife, and they need to respect her and love her the same way I do. And if they can't do that, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an alcoholic and a drunk and not talk about how they pissing me off. Like, that's what he did. So you can't tell me that with like those little instances, all that mean stuff he was saying, that is replaying in Janelle's little on loop and on her playlist. Okay, so in order for him to to be able to create any kind of bond with her or to try to reconnect with her, he is going to have to heal those relationships with her kids. Full stop. So like the OG3 out of the park. Until you finish step one, you can't move to step two. So with that, with the step one part of it, healing those kids, relationship with those kids, here's the crazy part about it. They're angry. They're angry. They're mad now. They're disappointed now. But listening to them talk, I'm just saying, like, I think that, you know, as jacked up as he treated them, there is room for him to come back into their situation in their lives if he learns to approach them properly. If he approached them in a way where he take, you know, hat cap in hand, he says, look, I was an ass, you know, I don't cuss too much, but you know, I was being a jerk. I was wrong. I shouldn't have took you guys for granted. I shouldn't have mistreated you. I said a lot of mean, stupid things. I apologize, and I want to work every day moving forward to try to rebuild a relationship with you, and eventually, hopefully, one day you can learn to trust me again, and then maybe we can move forward as a family. But because I feel like he's approaching it like he's the absolute authoritarian, that he has all the power and he holds all the cards in this situation, and they have to come back to him, that's not going to happen. So unfortunately, unless something like there's a seismic shift, I don't know if he's ever going to come back. The other problem with that is that when I say seismic shift, like for instance, if the seismic shift is Robin leaving him, and for him to realize that he's by himself and alone and he betrayed these people and he wants to build that relationship back, here's the thing. You ever been at a club or a party, and you know, back in the day the guys would come up to the young ladies or whatever and ask them to dance, and they walk up to a group of young women, and they, you know, one of the women could really be attracted to you, right? Really, oh my gosh, he beautiful man. He coming, girl. He coming this way, right? And you get over there and you ask her friend to dance on GP. She can't dance with your ass now. When her friends say no, and the guy's like, okay, you don't want to dance with me? What about you? No. She could have been wanting to dance with him bad, but she's not going to, because you got to live with your choice. One. Two, you know, the only reason why you're asking me is because that didn't work out. And I say all that to say this. If Robin leaves him, or that relationship dissolves, falls apart, she leaves him, takes all the money, and he comes back and he tries to talk to the kids from that point, I don't know if they're going to be willing to listen to him. I just don't. Because the only reason why you're back here talking to me is because she dumped your ass. And now you're a lonely ass old man trying to figure your life out, and you want to reconnect with me and my kids. 10 minutes ago, you ain't had no time for me. Now she left your butt high, dry, broke as hell. Now you got all the time in the world. You want to come down and stay at one of my villas. Like if you mad, you want to stay at one of my apartment living places down there on my 159-acre ranch in North Carolina. Now all of a sudden I'm the most important, smart, beautifulest, gorgeousest person walking the face of the planet. You got all the time in the world try to get to know me and my kids. Whereas before, when you had money, you had resources, you had time, you had everything that you wanted, you didn't have any room in your life for me. And that would be one of the challenges that I think that if he allows too much time to elapse and too much situation and circumstances to elapse, that he will encounter. There's also the point where the longer you go without somebody, the longer you've been without them. And so if you can go, like if they go years and years, they don't talk to him, then you're not a priority anymore. They're not even going to think about you. So, I mean, I think there's that too. But thank you so much for your call. Beautiful. Next up, we have Anonymous. We have another Anonymous. Let's check it out. But hold up now. Hold a minute.
Hi. Do you think Cody is going to tell us why he didn't go to Garrison's house when he found out that he passed? And then I have another one. Why did Robin turn sitting with Cody at the fire pit into something about her?
Oh, that's easy. Selfish as hell. Why is she turned about her? Selfish as hell. What they say about the text messages? The reason why they didn't want to have her on a text message chain that blew up all the kids' relationship was because Robin has a way of trying to make it all about her. I said her name like 4 times, and I said I wasn't going to. Crow's Nest has a way of trying to make it all about her. So, and when I say Crow's Nest, I mean buzz it. Okay, she has a way of circling it up and making it about her. As far as he's concerned, why didn't he go over there? There could be a couple reasons. Like that's such devastating news. Like maybe he wasn't fit to drive, and maybe she wasn't fit. She wasn't planning on driving him. Because we see the support system that she has. This don't have nothing to do with me. So I mean, that could be a reason why he didn't go. He also could have been afraid to go because he's scared he's going to run into somebody else. Like the jacked up part about it, from my understanding, I don't want to get too much into the root of it, just because I can't. I know there's been some reporting about like that evening and what happened and the phone calls being made, but I can't certify that any of this is true. The gossip mill or the word on the street says that Gabe had called him and asked him to come out, and he didn't show up. And I think that, again, that goes back to the previous caller asking about, will he be able to mend those relationships? That burns. And remember I talked about like the equalizer earlier. There's the hurt, there's the pain that hurts, and then there's the pain that alters. When something like this happens, like he found his brother in a situation he found him in, which is heartbreaking in and of itself. Finding your loved one deceased is hard enough. Finding them, and it's a violent demise, self-inflicted or not. There are certain things that go along with that. If you've ever seen those type of scenarios or whatever, there's certain things that are tied into that. And the idea that he saw that or he witnessed that, and then you go check on him, he's not responsive. You jump on the phone, you try to call for help because you don't give up right away. No matter what it looks like inside, could have been a shotgun or whatever, take off the top, and then there's no way that they're still around, but you still call an ambulance. You send somebody right away. There's a possibility. That's usually the stage of grief. Then you call your people, and you call your dad, and you say to your father, and I don't want to get too crazy with it because I'll get pissed off. But you call your father and you say, "Dad, this is what happened, and I need you." And you're so worried about yourself and tied into your own grief that when your child calls you up, and this is something I can't verify. This is just what I understand the story is. You call your dad up and say, "I need you," and for whatever reason, he doesn't show up. He's never going to explain to us why he didn't show up. He's not going to talk about it. I guarantee you. Because unless your ass was on fire at the time talking to your son, even then, usually you catch on fire, you try to run down the street. I would try to run over to Big G's house to be with my kid on fire. So I don't understand why he wouldn't show up. Like, because at that point, you're not showing up for the son who passed. You're showing up for the son who found him. And it's not about you. It's about him and making sure he's okay. You already lost one. Like, so I don't want to get too much into it because I'll start getting pissed off, like I said. But you get to that point where you're just like, you already lost one child. And your other child is calling you suffering because you can't tell me it was just a casual damn conversation. Hey, Dad, what's going on? Yeah, I just went by the Piggly Wiggly, picked up some eggs and batter, and I was heading over to Big G's house. And guess what? Like that, it wasn't a casual conversation. This was a horrifying conversation that I'm sure this young man had with his dad. And in light of that conversation, I don't give a shit if my son, pardon my French, but I don't care if my son called me up and said that something happened to one of my daughter. or vice versa. And if they told me that they were okay, I am on my way. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm on my way. I'm pulling up now. Where you at? I'm on my way. There's no way I'm sitting in my damn house, crowing and crying, and your child, like I said, I don't want to get too deep into it because I get pissed off. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like, so I don't think we'll ever hear the details as to why he did what he did that night. Like, it very well, like I said, people do things differently. I acknowledge that. Maybe he was so hurt and it was so painful he was inconsolable, he couldn't drive, whatever. Okay. But just for me, I don't give a shit what's going on. There could be an alien invasion, zombie apocalypse, and nuclear warheads heading to town, but I'm on my way. If I burn to a crisp driving over to that house, that's so damn be it. I don't care what's happening. There's nothing that would have kept me out of that damn house. The police, I pulled up and the police told me I can't cross the line. Sir, you're going to have to tase me, shoot me, and do whatever you need to do to me. But my son is over there and I need to go see him. You do what you got to do. Okay. But I'm just telling you, you better get some more folks out here. You better call an ambulance. And you better get the popo from 4 towns over and start them on their way. Because I'm going in there and I'm going to see my son. Point blank. Period. The end. And I don't even know why I'm talking to you. Like, that's why, like, like I said, I don't get too deep into it. But thank you so much for your call. Yeah, no, you ever get that? You be feeling yourself getting mad, like, like I don't want to be mad. I want to be cool. I want to be funny. I want to have fun. I don't want to be angry. But I can feel it. I can feel it because I'm not even saying it. When I do that, like, I'm trying to put myself into that situation, and I'm telling you, where I am now, I would not be like you. You couldn't even tell me. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. Jay, I don't know why you going over there. Look, the 8 hours away. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. That's all you gotta say. I'm on my way. Dad, you ain't gotta. I'm on my way. I don't even know why you still talking to me. I'll see you in a bit. I'm on my way. And he was like, they're not that far apart. So I'll see you in 5. Dad, you about 20 minutes away. Oh, you don't know when I'm driving, son. I'm taking this shit up on the curb, Jack. I mean, some people gonna have some ripped up lawns tomorrow, Jack, because I'm driving over everything. Stop signs. What stop signs? Shit. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I just couldn't even imagine. I can't imagine. Yeah. Because like I said, it's not just news that, like, put a button on it. For me, it's not just news that you had the loss that you have. Your son passed away. It's the son who's standing there and trying, like, because then, like, just knowing how this stuff works, like, it's not like he went in. I'm dragging this out longer than I wanted to, but it's not like he went in, found them, and he come out, make some phone calls, and that's it. He's in there. He finds them. He calls. He's sitting with them. He has to sit with them because the police just don't pop up and ambulance just don't pop up. So he has to sit there with them, right? And wait for the emergency rescue to show up. Then when the first responders show up, they tape everything off. And no matter these type of deaths, they have to investigate them as though there was something afoul was at foot. So it's an investigation. So he has to tolerate being asked questions. They're going to be asking him questions. What do you know? What didn't you know? Did you know anything? Was there any notes found? Did you have any conversations? Did he have any enemies? They do the whole thing. And this conversation isn't a 5-minute damn conversation. This is an investigation. So they're going to be asking questions. They're going to be asking them questions repeatedly. He is not going through that by himself. I'm sorry to tell you. He is not going through that by himself. Not today. Not today, Jack. So Like I again, there's a lot of stuff with them. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just maybe yeah, it's just different people. We just have different reactions to stuff. I'm just saying. But thank you so much for your call, Anonymous. Next up, we have Alexandra PF.
Hey James, it's Alexandra here, and I have my little guy Zachary, so you may hear him in the background. I'm calling regarding the comment that Robin made about Cody being a ladies' man. And as you know, I hate Robin. But anyways, I have a theory why she said that. It wasn't only because she wants to flatter Cody's ego by calling him a ladies' man. That's right, Zachary. But I think it's also because she wants to flatter herself by saying, "Oh, look, I won the ladies' man." So that's why I think she said it. What do you think?
That's a really good point, actually. You guys are code cracking tonight. Alexander, the second crack code of the evening. Like, I think that's a very on point thing. It's how do we call it? It's a humble brag. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, my girl. It's the same thing Cody did, just in reverse. I said his name. The same thing the Curly Q Cowboy did in reverse. See, Baldy Locks, he was on Mormonism Live, and he was talking about that's when we first started hearing about her being a Diesel Jeans model. And like she was like, oh yeah, I scooped this supermodel. That's how I knew I was balling as a polygamist. I was balling as a polygamist. That's how I knew I was doing it. Thank you for the comic relief. I need that, Alexander. I think that the way you do it is basically it's not just a wow, she's amazing. It's a wow, I'm an amazing person and I'm quite the catch because I was able to snag that amazing person. And I think that is a very good point, that when you reverse it and you flip the script, that's exactly what Robin was doing. She was basically saying, yeah, he was quite the ladies' man. And not only was he a ladies' man, I mean, he had 4 wives. And of course, I rose to the cream because I am the cream of the crop. I had to rise to the top and I took him down, son. I'm the one who won. I'm the winner. I'm the champion. Like my boy Charlie Sheen said, epic winning. Like that's pretty much where Robin is right now. She feels like she won something because you got the booby prize. Good job, jackass. Like that's having is not the same as winning. Like you might feel like you won the day, but we shall see. And it's also very telling to me that if you think that you're so pressed and you feel like you're in such strong competition with these ladies and you feel like you won, why are you sitting there trying to duplicate everything Christine is doing if you think you better than her? Why are you trying to, like, she get a ring, you get a ring. She get a wedding, you gonna try to do a wedding. Like, why are you trying to duplicate everything the loser doing? That's not how it works. I've never in the history of the world ever seen a winner say, I'm gonna do exactly what that loser was doing. That's stupid. If you won, why would you want to emulate or be like the loser? What are they doing? Oh, they buy a house? I'm gonna go out and buy a house. Here's the difference. Even in that comparison, let's break it all the way down. Christine bought a house. Her and David spent $773,000 on that thing. $750,000, right? So what does Crow's Foot and Robert Barron do? They run out and they go buy a $2.1 million house. I got a mansion. But here's the thing, dumbo. They have 3 damn houses because they got 2 B&Bs. They got a house they living in, a big ass house they living in. Because like I said before, a house, the real estate prices in one place is not the same as the real estate price in another place. If you live in New York and you spend $1 million, you will get an apartment. You take that same $1 million and you are in Kentucky, you have the most palatial home ever. Like your house is gorgeous and it's sitting on top of like 50 acres of land. You have a ranch. You have horses and shit. You like your house is spectacular. Okay? You live in New York with $1 million, your house is okay. Like your apartment is all right. It's all right. You don't get mugged on the steps. But Christine getting a house in Lehigh, Utah for $750,000, $773,000. Her house is expensive. Like her house is nice. Okay. In Lehigh, for that much money, her house is nice. And she got 2 additional properties. You guys are not the same. You are not doing it the same. And she has 2 houses in very exclusive neighborhoods. Her 2 additional houses are in exclusive neighborhoods. So very desirable neighborhoods. I'll say it that way. They're desirable neighborhoods. So I see why you want to be like her, but you are not alike. So, I mean, I think that's that too. But I do agree with Alexandra. I think that that's her way of trying to say that, one, I pulled down the top G. G is in Gerber's because you got yourself a baby man. 2, I think that that's also her way of saying that she won. I saw it, and I got this dude who is this great man, and that therefore I am a great woman. So it's all reflective back to me. So every compliment to him is actually a compliment to her. So yeah, I can see that. I think that's a very good point, Alexandra. Thank you so much. Oh, we've been waiting all night, and I should have bumped you up to the top. Here's Raider Ma, because she had came in last week and said she had dropped some. She had sent me a message. I never got the one from last week, but I got the one for this week. So here's Raider Ma.
Hi, James. Can't believe I'm doing this. This is Raider Ma. My family went through the same tragedy as the Browns about 21 years ago. It was my brother-in-law, about the same age as James.
Before we go further, let's get some my condolences to Raiders Ma. But let's get some hearts in the chat for Raiders Ma and her family. Just want to make sure we touch with everyone. I'm gonna throw some hearts in too. Just as a means of support for folks who have suffered this type of loss. All right, but let's get back to it.
Similar issues, down to the problems with the father. When this happened, the one thing that I noticed was that our family came together like they never had. The pain that I saw my mother-in-law is like something I've never seen, and I don't ever want to see it again. Even my father-in-law, with all the difficulties that he had with the kids, I saw the love, I saw the pain, and above all, I saw all the regrets that he had. It is not perfect. He has tried. Some people are just not meant to parent more than 1 or 2 people. But that is not something that unfortunately I saw in neither one of them, not Cody, not Robin. Cody talking about him wailing, that I seen what that looks like. And I really don't think that he is capable of that type of feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I truly am, because if he didn't learn from this experience, he never will. Love you guys. Love you, James.
All right, Raiders Ma. That was an excellent phone call. Thank you for sharing to everybody who calls in and sharing as well. I know it's this isn't an easy thing, and it takes a lot of courage to talk about this, especially because a lot of times it hits so close and it's so near, and in some cases there may be time distance between the event to now, but it's still very close to our hearts, and the pain is still new. There's something that Raiders Ma brought up that I can completely. I think I talked about it before briefly. I touched on it before. But I 100% agree. Like I said before, there's pain that hurts and pain that alters. And witnessing somebody being notified about this type of loss, or it really, I've seen it with other ways too, but people pass in other ways, and it's seeing like the devastation of that loss, like really set on somebody. It's something that you never you never lose that. Like you can see it. Like I can see to this day like certain reactions from people when they realize that they lost somebody, like the loss of not only that person, but the loss of the opportunity to ever see them again, the time that they spent with them, the missing them almost immediately, like that immediate thing where you miss them immediately and you wish you could pick up the phone right now and call, like that kind of thing. That's crazy. Like it changes not only the person it happens to, but if you have any sympathy or empathy in your soul, it changes you too. Just witnessing it changes you, right? And you realize that, how fragile, if you, think in person, hopefully, you realize how fragile life actually is. That gone today, here today, gone tomorrow. That's a real thing. It sounds like kind of quippy, like here today, gone tomorrow. No, but it's real, for real. Here today, gone tomorrow. And you have no control, and it'll come to you all of a sudden. And then, like, talking about the guilt and the anguish because of the guilt, especially when you didn't have the type of relationship when that person's passed that you wish you had. There's a lot of guilt that's tied into there. The way that they passed, there's guilt. There's always going to be guilt built into the system. Maybe if you did this, maybe if you did that, maybe if you did something a little different, maybe if you called them back. I was busy, but there was nothing that was too busy or so important that I couldn't call them back. I should have called them back. I'm a jerk. I'm an ass. I should have did this. I should have did that. That's kind of built into the cake in this kind of grief situation. And when it comes down to it, and I understand that, it's very difficult for me because I don't want to think that a parent wouldn't care about their children and they wouldn't openly weep and howl and lose their mind. Like, this is the type of loss where you lose your mind. Like, there's a point where, no cap, no, I'm not being facetious. I really think that this type of loss, especially when you're talking about children, there is a point where you are at the brink of sanity. Like, you are like a hair's whisper away from losing your entire mind. Like, I genuinely believe that. Like, I genuinely believe that. Like, there's a point where, one more thing and you are Looney Tunes, crazy Ben, sitting in the corner, you know, fighting and laughing, giggling your ass off crazy. I'm talking about like out of here crazy. Checked out, gone, done. Send me the bill because it's over. Crazy. Okay. Like, you're at that point. And to think that this didn't affect him at all is insane to me. But there is another part of me, and maybe because I'm a Gemini, I don't know. Um, there's a part of me that looks at this and just seeing people and understanding people and knowing evil in the world, that there are people who don't fall into that category. Like, something bad like this happens and it's, or this turns into as crazy as it is, it turns into like an Instagram thing. Oh, loss. I'm here at the loss. Like, I remember years ago, there was a young lady, her dad had passed away, and she was in the funeral home at the church, at the funeral home or at the church, taking pictures with the casket and the body to post on Insta. Like, that's crazy, crazy. Like, what kind of psychopath? They need to investigate your ass. That's how you. That's how you end up on the first 48 talking to the police, doing shit like that. You know what I mean? But there are people who just don't. This kind of thing doesn't register with them. Like, and that's a real thing. Like, it's just, if it doesn't affect them directly, yeah, sociopath. If it doesn't affect them directly, they learn, I guess, through a lifetime of trying to hide the fact that they afflicted, that they need to hide and cover and things that they should be doing. So they're very keen about the display of grief. But mostly but like somebody who's never experienced pain, they don't know what the true reaction of grief actually would be, what it would actually look like, because they just don't feel it. They don't have it in them. And so I'm not necessarily saying that this is what Cody's issue is, or the sandpaper kid because he looked like he washed his face with sandpaper. I'm not saying that that's what it is with him. I'm just saying that you realize that there are people out there like that, and so when Raider Mom said that she doesn't necessarily believe that he was howling and screaming, I can't say no, you're wrong. Yeah, honestly, I can't say no, you're wrong. I just could simply say I hope you're wrong. I hope we both. It sounds like we both hope that we're wrong, but at the same time, kind of suspect it. So, but thank you so much for calling in, Raider Mom. Appreciate you calling back and leaving that message. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it got dropped, but you dropped a banger tonight. Thank you, and thank you again for sharing that. Give some hearts in the chat for folks who lost people. Um, I know it's rough. It's a daily ordeal. Like it's something that you go through that you'll never get over. Next up, we have two from Anonymous. I called him Anonymous from Germany. So, but we'll have play these two, and then I'll comment on the other side.
Hi, James. This is a listener from Germany. My thought is based upon the adoption of Robin's children. It's well known that Christine's children did not have Cody on their birth certificates. When he adopted Robin's children, at that moment, he assumed financial and legal responsibility of those children until they were the age of 18. Now, when Christine went to court to file for child support, they had to get a paternity test because Cody was not on Truly's birth certificate, nor her other children. What are your thoughts on that? Hi, James. This is a listener from Germany again. I just want to speak to anyone that might be going through any troubling times, thinking about harming themselves. I am a person who has been touched by this situation as well. And I just want to say to them that the burden that you carry, it never goes away. Even when you decide to leave this world, your problems still stay here. The only thing is, the weight of your problems are then put on the backs and the shoulders of everyone that you've loved or that loves you. And it doesn't go away. It goes away for you, but it gets piled on to everyone else tenfold.
I don't. You know what? I'll do it in reverse. 100%. If you find yourself in a situation where you are struggling, please understand that when you make this decision, well, first and foremost, when you make this type of decision, this is a final decision. There's no rescission on it. There's no coming back from it. This is it. And from that respect, if it's very painful, there's a possibility, and that's where I choose to live. The possibility, the hope that things will get better, because you can always make that decision tomorrow, but once you make that decision, that's it. So give yourself another day, give yourself another hour, give yourself a chance. Sometimes you go through things, and the things you go through hurt like hell at the time, but you have to give yourself a chance to experience the bounce back or the recover, because you have to, in order for you to maybe be blessed with your next thing, you have to be removed from your current situation. Like there's a thing where it's like a place of reservations. In order for you to gain, you have to lose. It's like reading a book. In order for you really love a chapter, but in order for you to move on to that next better chapter, you have to finish that chapter to move on. And so I think that's part of it. There's also a part that I don't want to ignore, which is the the portion where people are suffering from depression. And again, I talk about this before in my previous video, where I was talking about like grief and depression and things. We can't ignore that in some cases your body is betraying you. It's not you. It's not your fault. It's just like I could no more blame you for suffering from depression than I could if you had appendicitis or if you had to get your tonsils out or some one of the myriad of other things. You got the big C, whatever the case may be. I'm not sitting around, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. Dude. That's why you have what you have, and that's why you suffer. Sometimes it's just something that happens. It's something that like it's a chemical change, it's a biological change, it's a hormonal change that can be rectified or at least can be treated to make the situations to help to alleviate some of the symptoms. Okay, there might not be a cure, but it can be treated. And I think that you have to give yourself that chance. And I kind of what Anonymous had talked about, if you're about to make that decision because you think you're not worthy, you're not worth it, people are better off without you. That's never the case. That's never the case. So let's put some hearts in the chat for Anonymous. And her, my condolences for your situation and your loss. But kind of what they were saying, when you leave, you feel like you're a burden to somebody else, but you have no idea how much that pain is like you're trying to save your loved ones, you're trying to spare your loved ones, so you figure they're better off without you. You have no idea how much that you're leaving and them being without you is going to actually hurt them and affect them. So I think that that's something that we need to keep talking about and keep pressing. And again, seeking help when you need help. Seek doctors and medical attention when you need medical attention. If you broke your leg, you go to the doctor. If you have depression, you go to the doctor. Just because it's your brain doesn't mean it's separate and devoid, and it needs to be treated differently than your body. Your body can be broke, your brain can be broke, but there are measures that can be taken to help heal you. So give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. That's all. I mean, I think that's all anyone can ask you to do. Give yourself a chance. Love yourself enough to give yourself a chance, and let other people in to your situation. You don't have to suffer alone. There's nothing you can tell people that is so embarrassing or humiliating that they would rather see you gone than to hear you say that you failed a test or your boyfriend or husband or wife or girlfriend left you, or you're losing your house or whatever, you lost your job, whatever the case may be. I mean, obviously there are bigger things than that. I'm just throwing those things out there as examples. I forgot what you said in the beginning. Hold on one second.
Hi, James. This is a listener from Germany. My thought is based upon the adoption of Robin's children.
Yeah, the adoption issue. Let's talk about that. First of all, it always amazes me how when Christine's kids were born, Janelle, he's on her kids' stuff. Like she was like, nope. Janelle, there's a possibility I can go to jail if I'm on your birth certificates. I don't care. Well, make me a license plate that says such and such. Remember that used to be the thing. You're gonna go to jail and make license plates. Make big rocks and the little rocks, you know. But you'll be in that prison fitness program, Jack, because your name is going on these birth certificates. I ain't had these kids alone. But Christine, she, according to her, she was afraid of the system because she grew up in polygamy, whereas Janelle didn't. So, yeah, you're on Mary. Her child is on Cody's on that birth certificate because he was married to her. So it is what it is. But Christine, she was concerned that because out of fear of authority that they might come and get her, and she's trying to be smart about exposing the family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that she didn't put Cody's name on the birth certificate. It's funny to me that when Cody was talking about adopting Robin's kids, one of the things that always stuck with me is that he said, yeah, when it comes to these kids, I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to just, rain down hell to get these kids. Weird to me that you are willing to fight for the things that you're willing to fight for and what you choose to fight for. Why weren't you willing to go to war for your kids? Because let's be honest, what's funny to me, especially in a lot of these situations, these guys and these folks are always quick to say that legality doesn't matter. That's just paperwork. Paperwork don't matter. It's how we feel about each other and the commitments we make to one another. That's the only thing that counts. This paperwork don't mean nothing. License, marriage license, that's just paperwork. That don't mean nothing. That's the secular world. But when it came to deeds, putting his name on property, and when it came to Robin's kids, it was the most critical thing ever. That his name, he has full dominion over those children. He had to do that. But you didn't have to do that with your own kids. I'm just saying, as a piece of note, don't let people trick you into that bull stuff. Okay? If you're a fella and somebody tell you, I don't want to put your name on there because, the police, blah, 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 blah. First of all, if there's a question of legality, you probably shouldn't have been messing with her in the first place to put yourself in a situation where you actually having a baby and now you're afraid to put your name on a birth certificate. Stop thinking with your making dumb decisions. I'll say it that way. The second thing, don't put yourself in a situation where somebody can pick your kids up and walk out of your life and you have no recourse. That's also what dummy do. Because if he was serious about his kids, and Christine wasn't the person that she was, she could pick them kids up and walk out, and there's nothing he could do about it. Like when she moved from Arizona to Utah, and he was sitting there talking about, you can't leave, you can't take my child. Oh, yes, you can. Because guess what, dum-dum? Your name isn't on a birth certificate. You don't have any rights. You're not a parent at that point. So in this situation, it seems it plays one way because Cody is, said his name, but because Baldy Locks is one way, and so when Q Ball goes for custody and all that, he's just trying to get out of paying child support. He doesn't want to be responsible. But if he was half a man and he was really interested in being a dad, then I want to make sure my rights are protected when it comes to my kids. You are not, one of the things you're not going to do is ever tell me I can't see my kids. And if the first step of that is me putting my name on a birth certificate, so when I go to court, I have no delay. I have no stop. We don't have to take a damn test. And if we do take a test, I'm ready. Your Honor, I'd already sent off my Walmart swab because they sell the DNA test at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target. You can go to any drugstore and get a damn. They right next to the. Don't go to the dollar store and get them because the the pregnancy prevention stuff is right next to the. Are you pregnant? The pea sticks, and then you have the who the baby daddy boxes, all in the same area at the dollar store, because you're gonna need that whole run. You might as well just pick up the 3-pack. You know what I mean? Get the prophylactics, the the are you pregnant and who the baby daddy triple pack. You might as well get that from the dollar store. But anywhere else, you can go down and you can get like I think they're done by who is it? Diagnostic centers or something like that. DNA diagnostic, DDCC or something like that. But they used to do the Maury show. And if you pay a little bit extra, you can find out. They have one amount you can find out if you're the daddy. They have another amount where you can get get it certified, and you can take that into court. And so that could be evidence for you to establish paternity in court. Now, with all that being said, I would already have that stuff done. Walking in the court, my paperwork be, well, first we're going to have to send you out for paternity. As it turns out, Your Honor, I submit this, Exhibit A. Well, Exhibit A will be the birth certificate. Exhibit B will be the paternity test. So, yeah, that's my child. So when can we start? When can I start picking him up or picking her up or start visitation? Or am I going for custody? Like, you know what I mean? But I don't think he was thinking about that. But it's just weird to me what you choose to fight for establishes to me what you think is important. And the fact that you weren't willing to fight to get your name added to your kids' birth certificates, but you were more than willing to go add 3 other kids to your birth certificate. Because if you guys are out committing crimes, why are you so scared? Like, why didn't you go down? Because you can always, here's the thing too, you can always have your name added. So before, that should have been something Christine should have brought up too. Christine, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Because you should have told his ass when he came in there talking about, I'm going to go down there and rob kids. You should have looked him in the face and said, well, first we got to stop the make. We're going down to what is that office? We're going down to the birth certificate office. We're going to be down there all day, so take a lunch. And we're going to put in the paperwork to amend the birth certificate to add your name to the birth certificate. So before you adopt some kids that you ain't got nothing to do with, you're going to take full responsibility for the children that you made. How about that? So what we doing? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Like I said, everybody has to protect themselves. Christine had to protect herself. Cody, jackass, he has to protect himself. As a father, you protect your rights. You protect your rights. And so, no, I'm not. If I'm not sure it's my child, I'm getting a test because I'm going to find out. And I'm going to find out. And if it's my baby, I'm involved with my baby. I don't care what's going on or who I got to talk to, how much paperwork I got to put in. If Cody knocking down trees all the time, knock down some of them trees, get some papers, make some paper, and start filing petitions so you can see your kids, so you can get your children instead of trying to figure out a way to avoid child support. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. And this is why they will always be the villains because of stuff like this. Great points, Anonymous. From Germany. All right, Germany. From over in Europe. All right, next up we got Tanya Carter.
Hi, James. Tanya Carter. So I'm watching Sunday's episode, and I'm just not understanding why the whole family needed to go on this pilgrimage with him. If Big G's was so unsafe for the tenders and the adult tenders, then why did they need to go on this pilgrimage? And it's all over their face. Like, they didn't know him. They weren't allowed to know him. Um, I'm sure they don't even understand why they're there. What are they grieving? A relationship that they never had. I don't think that Crybrows needed to be there either. She could have stayed back at the ranch at the shit show chateau and waited for him to get back. I felt like this could be a pilgrimage that he could go on his own, put his big boy panties on, as he likes to say, and deal with it on his own. But instead, they turn it into a vacation. He's sitting there talking about selling signs and having to be away from his family. The times that he was doing that, this wasn't even his family. So they don't know what he's talking about. The kids that would have appreciated that, he doesn't talk to anymore. So their whole scene was annoying to me. Do I think that his tears in certain scenes were real? Yes. But I don't think that the Crybrow family and the tenders and the older tenders needed to be there. They could have stayed home. What do you think?
Well, here's the weird part. I think that in most situations, and again, I'm gonna stretch, I'm gonna try to be fair. In most situations, because he was Big G's dad, and everyone in this situation deserves to have the support system they feel comfortable with. So with that being said, if Crybrows and her kids were his support system and were there to help him get through it, irregardless of how I feel about it, then that's what has to happen. That's kind of what has to happen, I guess. There is a point, though, where the separation of the families, the deviation from the original culture of the one family lifestyle that they were supposed to be living, because there was a separation and each one of the wives became each individual home, and there was a separation or splintering in the family. a direct result of that splintering is that the kids don't have the relationship with Big G's. They just don't, you know, and they are, they're just in a bad situation because the kids don't know who this person was. They know that they probably should feel bad. They know he's a brother. He's a brother in pretty much name only because of the way that the adults conducted themselves within the confines of these relationships. So there isn't a relationship between these siblings. These kids are like the lost souls. They're just out there, but they don't really have any tie or connection to the source, the original family. So from that respect, I think that it would have been more pleasant for the audience if this was something where Cody had went with Janelle. I think it would have been a nice button for the audience. However, I don't think that was ever going to happen. I think it would have been also a nice thing if Liebrows isn't in a situation where she can allow the curly Q cowboy to just demonstrate his true depth and breadth of his emotions. And part of that could be she doesn't want him to get sad or down because she's afraid of how he's going to treat her or how he's going to lash out at her. Because again, she had made the accusation before that when he was being divorced and the ladies had left him, that he started taking it out on her, that essentially she was accusing him of being abusive. And one of the ways that she might be trying to avoid that mistreatment is by trying to keep him separated from his feelings or not experiencing that full depth of grief. If that's the case, then from that respect, it might make more sense for her to let him go on that pilgrimage by himself so that he can get it all out of his system. He can experience it. Because again, this isn't one of those things that you can hide and you can cover up and you can pretend like it doesn't exist. And as long as you pretend long enough, you ride it out and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. The harder and the stronger you try to cover this kind of thing up, this kind of tragedy, this kind of trauma, the harder you cover it up, the worse it's going to be when it hits. This is going to be crazy devastating. If he's actually going through some stuff, I don't know. If he's actually going through some things and he's genuinely hurt and he can't function and he can't get through and they're telling him not to worry about it, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. You good. Stop. Don't get upset. Just be happy, smile. We'll go on family vacation. You'll spend time with the kids and you love spending time with the kids. You don't have to deal with it. Sooner or later, that bill is going to come due and he's going to have to deal with it. And it could be way worse. So if he needed to go off and experience that alone, then that might have made sense. At the same time, like I said, if it was anybody but him, if I'm trying to be fair, if it was anybody but him, I would say he has to have his support system there. And maybe they're his support system. I can't believe I'm trying to be fair. This is crazy. Try to be a just soul, but sometimes it's a little difficult. And even I just don't like the taste of it. Next up, we have thank you for the call, Tanya. That was a really good question, or a really good comment. Next up, we have Athena.
Hi, this is my first time calling, and I just wanted to say what's been on my mind since I saw the show on Sunday was how protective Cody was to his or Robin's kids of not getting COVID and protecting them, that he failed to protect the mental health of his OG kids. As a result, I believe that Mr. G died partly due to COVID. So I just find that very sad, and it was nice to see the family moving on under these circumstances. All right, you all have a good day, and let's protect our own mental health. Thank you.
Oh, that was a really good comment, Athena. I think that I think I touched on that earlier, but yeah, I 100% agree. 100 in the Joan. I 100% agree. I think that you have to. We don't know the true uh result of people who went through the pandemic and what those effects were. We know what the death toll was as a direct result of the virus. But what we don't know, or what we haven't taken into account, is the stages of depression and the mental uh, ramifications of that kind of isolation, especially if you're a very sociable person. There is also an additional part where this is where the family truly broke apart and they were condemned to isolate themselves from one another. And that very well could have played a major part in it. And this kind of goes back to the idea of recognizing when you're not okay. As a result of them spending a year or 2 years apart, that could have done serious damage, especially to somebody like you get these kids, especially the OG 13, the older ones, like start with Logan all the way down to like Garrison, the kids, Gabe and Garrison, who were amongst those kids who were always interchangeable at the other families' houses. So Gabe, Garrison, all those kids all the way up, they always talked about how they would spend so much time over at Christine's house. And when they go over to Christine's house, let's keep it all the way a stack. They weren't going just to hang out with Christine. They were going to hang out with their siblings. And then to have those relationships cut off from them. Like you get them used to going over, seeing one another and being a part of each other's lives. And they become, not only are they best friends, but they're actually like siblings. Like this is their brother, this is their sister. And you're telling them because you don't feel comfortable, you don't want them to get together anymore. And not only do you tell them they can't get together anymore, but you punish them when they do get together. And you say things like, I can't trust you, you're a liar, you're deceptive, you're selfish, because you won't do what I'm telling you to do by not talking to your siblings. That could leave a mark. That could have an effect. So again, I'm not trying to figure a way or plan a way that I can lay blame at Cody's feet for what happened. I'm just merely saying that this could be a contributing factor into the overall state that he found himself in. Like, I don't think it's one thing that we can point to and say that this is the thing that did it. I think that there's a lot of things that went into the mix that we have to take into account. And so with that being said, like, I think that there is a point too where, again, when you start asking those questions as a parent, what could I have done? What changes could I have made? This might be a thing where both Crybrows and the Curly Q Cowboy could look at it and say, this is a point where, maybe we made mistakes. Maybe we did the wrong thing. We were trying to protect our family, but in an effort to protect our family, much like a Greek tragedy, the more you do to protect yourself from a certain outcome, the more likely it is that you will find yourself in that outcome. Like Oedipus, Perseus, like, oh, I'm gonna send them all. And that, I'm in danger. The kid gonna slump my ass. Oh, we gonna send them off. We gonna get rid of him. We gonna knock him off. And you send them off with somebody, put them in the river, they send them down the stream. Next thing you know, you get big and strong and meet you on the road one day and knock your ass off. Like, it just, you trying to stop it from happening is what causes it. And with that being said, I think that this is also a point where if you take this in, not necessarily take blame for it or take, responsibility for it, but you take this in as a possibility, this would be something that you could reach into your well if you're one of the dastardly duo and say to yourself, maybe I should check with my kids to make sure they're okay, because there may be things that I'm not seeing. And that's part of what I would hope the result would be from this experience, that you start reaching into that well and say, you know what, I need to make sure that these kids are okay. And take more time, put more energy and effort into making sure that they're actually okay. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, great point. Then we have Mary Mama Alejo.
Hi, James. It's Mary again. Hey, I just want to speak on McKelty and kind of this hatred or dislike she has for Mary because of what was happened in her childhood. I really just want to speak on root cause, that I just don't think McKelty's doing anything to help herself in being able to get over this and stop this alluding to stuff that happened, that may have happened on her Patreon. So, root cause, her family was in a religion that promoted this. The leaders allowed it. The leaders probably said, go do what you need to do for punishments for your children. McKelty and all the children need to understand that a religion their parents were in promoted this, so, or thought it was okay at the time. So this is why all of the children need counseling. Maybe all adults need counseling to understand their childhood and what their parents did or didn't do for the reasons that they did or didn't do them. But I really would like to see McKelty privately get the help, move on from this. She can do the forgiveness. She doesn't have to forget what happened to her. Just do forgiveness through counseling and have a safe conversation with Mary if it actually needs to get to that. But I think counseling will really help her. Thanks.
I think that what you're referring to, if I could be wrong, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. What you're referring to is the way Mary is, like the allegations that Mary had mistreated the children when they were younger, the treatment of the children when they were younger. I would say this. I think that there's sometimes, like with the platform that McKelty has, there's sometimes, like if you went through some things, I say it. Say it with your chest. Come out and say what it is. But I would be very careful. And this is just, it's just more or less, it's not a right or wrong thing. It's not a counseling thing. It's not a what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I'm just saying that the way things kind of work out, you have to be very careful when you're teasing that you were mistreated as a child and you kind of use it as a way to, clickbait or, get attention. You aren't really, you're mentioning it, but you're not talking about it. You're hinting at it, but you're not revealing it. You have to be careful, because what my concern would be is that you do so much of that when you finally do come out and you say what it is you want to say, it can go a couple ways. One, if it's like they find that the allegations aren't as serious as you made them seem, you're going to take a hit. If the allegations are hinted at so much and it just comes off like you were just trying kind of pocket chasing, you're dollar chasing when you mentioned it, then you won't be believed. If it comes off like you're just kind of promoting the show and you're kind of doing it as an advertisement, it could be bad. Like there's a few ways that it just, like, if she has something to say, I think Christine has expressed that she had concerns that when she was talking about leaving the family, that she would get a negative outcome or a negative result from viewers, and they would look at her bad because she's leaving the family. And she decided to do it anyway. And she received resounding support for leaving. If McKelty has something to say, I think you will get support if you say what it is you went through. If you say what you went through and you say, look, this is my experience, blah, 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 blah. This is what I went through. I think that the audience will support you. I think that you do have a support system built in. But when it comes to it, I hope for her own mental health that she's getting the help that she needs, or she's finding a way to deal with whatever it is she went through. I can't say for sure whether it's true or not true. I'm just saying based off what she's saying. I hope that you find the help that you need to be able to deal with and work your way through it. And it kind of was mentioned um, by Mary. You have to find forgiveness, not for the person who offended you, but you have to find forgiveness for yourself. Because if you can't forgive them, you can't let go, you can't move on. Not forget, but forgive. You let it go so that you can find happiness, so that you can fill that spot up. Because as long as you hold on to that anger, that hate, that resentment, that distrust, that pain, that creates a hole in you that will never be filled. You'll never feel complete because you're carrying that around. That's not your burden to carry. If you were mistreated, especially as a child, or it doesn't really matter how old you were, but if you were mistreated by somebody else, that what happened to you is not your burden to carry. You don't have to carry that. That's on them. The person who hurt you, that's their ill. That's their mistake. That's their baggage. You don't carry that for them. You don't carry that guilt for them. You don't carry that pain for them. You don't carry that weight for them. You let them carry that shit for themselves. You let them figure out how they can apologize or make amends to you, or make amends so that they can get good on with their day. But you let that go so that way you can move forward and you can do the things that you need to do in order for you to be present for your husband, for your kids, and more importantly for yourself. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, so if it is something, like, I have no problem with calling it what it is. So if you were mistreated, if somebody came out and said Christine had mistreated them, and then it is what it is. We're gonna have to talk about it and put it on blast. Everybody can get it. Shoot, I'm on my thing, and I say that I can get it. I can get it on my own my own page. So I don't have a problem giving it to somebody else. So if she did something to that effect where she affected you, then we should, then come out and say it. Come out and say it. But just I'm very hesitant about hinting at wrongdoing, then never supporting those allegations, or never substantiating or elaborating on those allegations, because it can damage your credibility. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it, if that makes sense. But let me know what you guys think down below. That's all we had as far as the phone calls. We had some really good phone calls tonight. Oh, and we usually have good phone calls. I'm like, tonight is different. No, it's not. We had some really good phone calls. So I appreciate you guys participating in the Speak Pipe. It makes gives us a little something different to talk about. It's another outlet for you guys to be able to talk about some things. We had a couple issues, some things that came in from Anonymous, talking about gossip, as well as talking about midlife crisis. I think I'm going to address those in the videos. So don't worry, I got those Speak Pipes. I want to construct it because they're very interesting topics, and I wanted to touch on it in a little different setting. So hopefully you guys understand that. So with that being said, let me just check some things real quick. Oh, we have a couple super chats. We have Kathy Ferran. Oh, Kathy in the house, $3 super sticker. Kathy, Road Warrior. Kathy be in it. Kathy be in it. Kathy about that life. She be doing it. Thank you so much, Kathy. Let me get you a little something. All right. Then we had Lizzie B. Gifted one my take on reality membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. That's one of those mega mods in the house. Gifted a membership. So if you guys are, make sure you check off the necessary toggle switches so that you're eligible to receive potentially my take on reality membership this week, because I did the Mother's Day poem. If you guys didn't get a chance to check that out, I cut it down into a short, but I also did it as a video. So it's in the members section under the members tab as far as playlists. Because I did that video and I opened it up for everybody, I am going to do 2 motivational videos this week. So this week coming up, I'll have 2 come out. So one for this week and then one for next week. So because that's something I promised that the members I would release motivational videos for you guys. So I'm doing that. Then we have so thank you very much, Lizzie B. Let me give you a little something. Wow. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. All your support. We have YouTube is my time machine. $5 super chat. James, are you reviewing Poly Family? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Are you kidding me? Yes, I am. I will be reviewing Poly Family. I did the first 2 episodes in one video. I'm going to do I was trying to consolidate a Love After Lockup video. I still got to put out my Ruby Frank video, and then I have 90 Day Fiance as well as Poly Family. So I have a lot of work to do, but I will be getting the Poly Family up because there's some things that happen in Poly Family. There's a lot of discussion, and just to give folks a little bit of a preview, thank you for that. YouTube is my time machine. Just to give a little preview, with Poly Family, there are some issues that have arisen within Poly Family that I think are key factors on things that people have to consider as they start to think about opening up their relationships. Okay, because the way, and I'm saying it this way because do I think that these relationships are impossible? No. Do I think that these relationships are extremely difficult? Yes. Do I think that most people are suited for these relationships? Hell to the no. But I think that there is a point where in our modern day parlance, especially in like regular media, social media and things, that they're making a lot of this activity more accessible and trying to make it more attractive for people to participate in. But I think that what they don't cover and what they don't talk about are some of the issues that I will be addressing when we talk about polyfamily. And a lot of those issues that I'm going to be talking about with regard to polyfamily, you not only see in polyfamily where you have multiple people or ethical non-monogamy or polygamy, polygyny, plural families, open marriages, swingers, all that. These things are all the way throughout. So there are connections that I can make between polyfamily and how they're living their lives and some of the issues that they face to what the Brown family went through on Sister Wives, or what the other families go through on Seeking Brother Husbands or Seeking Sister Wives, or any one of the other shows. So I'll be doing that, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive. I hate saying it's a deep dive because I'm not doing it on the scholastic level or academic level, but it will be. Hopefully you guys will find it interesting. But thank you very much for asking a question. And yes, I will. Yes, I am. YouTube is my time machine. I love that name. Next up, we got Sarah M. Okay, it's Sarah M in the house. Gifted one my take on reality membership. Thank you so much, Sarah M. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. That's awesome. Sarah had some fire last week. She came in with some fire last week's Speak Pipe. But give Sarah a little something. Oh, there's a question. And shame on me for not asking that question first. Is there anyone in the chat? I can't find it in my system. Is there anyone in the chat in a poly relationship? Good question. If you are and you want to talk about it, hit me up on at my take on reality questions at gmail.com, and I'll bring you up on the show. We can have a conversation about it. Like get new different perspectives. So we have Sarah M. $5 super chat. Does anyone else remember R complaining about Big G not being happy when they announced Solomon pregnancy? A room of 30 people cheering and she sees G. Yeah, it was like she was mad at a couple of the kids. None of Janelle's kids were happy. None of them kids was happy. That's why she was pissed at Hunter. for a lot of time. Because she was like, yeah, nobody celebrated. Like, I look right at Hunter. He didn't even smile or nothing. Because them kids know what it was like to be hungry. So, yeah, they're not happy. Like, this is the most irresponsible thing you could have possibly did. And I double dare anybody to try to defend that dumb shit. Like, you just moved out. Like, oh, these people all declared bankruptcies and everybody was bankrupt and all blah, 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 blah. They didn't have any money. So she got $30,000 worth of debt. These other women declared bankruptcies because everybody was broke. The stupidest thing you can do. Look, okay. The dumb shit that you do. Look, I love babies. I do. Like, Alexandra, she had her son, little Zach. Hey, Zach, what's going on, buddy? I like hearing happy children. It just puts a smile on your face, right? I like children. But to have, like, you have 13 kids already. She had 3 kids already. You had 16 people you are responsible for. You are trying to afford to get into homes to be able to take care of the children you already had. You didn't have, like, yeah, you had money coming in from TLC, but you were also living off of money that Janelle cashed in for a 401k. That's why she had cashed her 401k in to help to take care of the family as they move with the expenses of moving from Utah to Las Vegas, which is why Cody was down there asking her permission to rent a vehicle. When he went down there to ask her permission to rent a truck, that's why, because Janelle was the one with the money. So when you have kids who can say they remember eating moldy bread and stale food and having and suffering with hunger, are you kidding me? And you coming in talking about I'm having another damn baby? Yeah, I'll be mad. I'll be mad too. Shit, I'm a full-grown ass man. If I'm sitting up there struggling, trying to figure out how I'm gonna put food on the table, and somebody coming in talking about I got more burden and more responsibilities for you, I'm already drowning. Why are you handing me bricks? Put this in your pocket. Like, that's not a thing. Not sorry. That's not a thing. No, I wouldn't be happy either. What are we doing? Like, you irresponsible clods. You don't understand what you don't understand what contraception is? Like, take care of yourself. Like, you were already breaking rules. Don't give me that bullshit. Oh, well, in their religion, they don't believe in contraception. Look, you were already breaking damn rules. You were kissing on her when you shouldn't have been kissing on her. That's a rule break. That was a rule break. You were already breaking rules. So when you in the boudoir and you about to start getting there trying to crack backs and make booty clap, booty cheeks clap, look, we don't need no more kids. They're two healthy adults. You can't tell me that they aren't taking precautions now. Because if they weren't, they would have had like 3-4 more kids. So you miss me with that stuff. But yeah, 100%. I think that's when all Janelle's kids went on the list. Because none of her kids look happy. Everybody looked like they just bit into a damn onion. You know what I mean? When you looked at Maddie, she was pissed. Hunter was pissed. They focused on Hunter. Gabe, Garrison, they did not look happy. You know what I mean? The older kids, none of the older kids were excited about it because, like I said, they remember what it was like to suffer with food insecurity. So no, and especially if you're in Janelle's house, Janelle is the one who was sacrificing a lot. And you can say whatever you want to say about her. Oh, well, Robin was just so much smarter with her money. And so just really good with her money. Look, Janelle was the one who was making those sacrifices so stuff could get paid. Full stop. Janelle was the one, oh, we don't need this. We don't need that. I can do without. We have an objective. Let's try to meet the objective. You can say whatever you want to say. Did she make some crazy financial decisions? Absolutely. She did. She made some bad decisions financially. But at the same time, she was also the one who was making a lot of the stuff up. She was making up for a lot of the things. So if she's kicking in a majority of her check way before Robin came into the family and before they got a TV show, because everybody wants to focus on Robin being able to provide for herself because of the TV show. Way before the TV show kicked in, Janelle was the one who was paying a lot of those bills. So if she's working a 40-hour work week, 40-plus hour work week, so that she can make ends meet, a lot of that money, and she's providing those ends so that she can take care of the Brown family prime, the OG3 plus their kids, and she's working to pay those bills. If she's paying the family bills, that means she's not making enough because of the position that she had. She wasn't making enough to where she could pay for everybody in the family and take care of her kids the way she could have been taking care of her kids. So those kids missed a lot of new shit, new shoes, new coats, new closets, new activity gear, all that. So let's put it where we can get it. So no, in those circumstances, no, I'm not, I love babies and all that other stuff, but we got to be responsible. And that's the most irresponsible. Like, you're not teenagers. Take some damn responsibility. And this isn't just to Robin. This is to Cody as well. You a man, you look, she carries the baby, but you can decide whether you want to go in there and paint the walls. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no. You just moved to Las Vegas and you there pregnant. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, especially Cody, like, because like it or not, I mean, we gonna put it where it needs to be put. We're gonna put it squarely, in my opinion, and maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a dude. But if I'm gonna say, if you said between cue ball and crow's nest, who bears the brunt of that decision, I'm gonna have to go cue ball all day. But James, she came in the family and spoiled things. I understand that she, had her own agenda coming into the family. I get that. But at the same time, he was the one with 13 kids. Okay? Somehow he figured out how not to make Christine pregnant again. Somehow he was able to figure out how not to knock up Janelle again. Yeah, so no, I don't care. Like, I think that was straight up him, like, marking territory pregnancy. That was a marking territory pregnancy. That was your mind pregnancy. That's how I feel about it. Like, because there's no way I'm gonna sit up there like you work so hard to try to get ahead, and you just gonna give it away because you got to start protecting yourself. You got to start protecting yourself. That is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous situation. Like, if you're like, when they got into the homes, it would have made more sense if they would have got into the homes, or they were settled somewhere and they got pregnant. They got pregnant when she was in they were in the vacation home. So and part of me, to be honest with you, this is part of the reason why, in my opinion, I think they moved to Las Vegas not to evade the law. I think they moved to Las Vegas because her ass was already freaking pregnant and she wanted to be around her family while she was pregnant. How about that? That's why I think they moved to Las Vegas. I don't think the law had anything to do with it. I think that was just some bullshit that they might have been telling the studio. They've been trying to push a storyline, or more to the point, maybe that was something that they were trying to push on to the other wives to scare them so that they felt like they had to move out of the place that they were safe and secure around their family so they could move out to Vegas so they could be around her family. I'm just saying. It's just funny how things work out. But that, if you guys were living in Utah, like if you're living in Utah, you're on the first season of a show, you barely got money. Like, they had no way of knowing this show was going to go 19 seasons. And if you look at any one of the other reality shows that were on at the time, they are all long damn gone. So there's no way they had any, we're going to be on for almost 19 seasons. That was not a damn plan. That was not a plan. They could have got one season out of that show, maybe 2 seasons. There was the second season that she got pregnant. Maybe you got 2 seasons out of that joint. And then by the third season, they be like, you know what? Nobody's buying this sister wife crap no more. We're moving on. And you still got a baby to take care of. And what, you going to go back to selling signs? Dude, that is the most inconsiderate, stupid ass decision made by anybody on reality TV. I'm pregnant. You big dummies. That is dumb. That is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Calm down, James. Calm down. This room is clear. I've exorcised the demon. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sarah, you got me again, girl. What are you doing to me? Let me give you a little something, Sarah. Yeah, that whole situation to me, like, especially I got kids, my kids are suffering. I'm not throwing another child on top of my existing children. You too busy to watch your damn kid. You can't even tuck your kids in. The kids you got, I'm about to go off again. The kids you got already. Could you go down and check on little the kids? Because I got 10-year-old Aspen in there tucking them in. No, I'm too busy. I got too much on my shoulders. I can't take care of these kids. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make more kids. You are the most selfish son of a bitch walking on two legs. If that's what you're doing, if you don't got time for the kids you got, the last thing you need to do is be out there making more damn children. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Straight up. That's like you're a deadbeat ass dad. If you got 13 kids, you're not taking care of the kids you got, then you add 3 more kids on top of that. So now you got 16. And you're going to go out and get somebody else pregnant? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? I'm just saying. I'm sorry. So like I said, if I have to look at the two of them, I'm looking directly at Cody. Man to man, that is a dumbass decision. That was a dumb decision. You know, blessed Lord did Silas here because he looks like a lovely child. But I'm just saying, there are time and places for stuff. Bless y'all believe that your kids are your kids. So you could have waited 2 years and you would have got Solomon later. So even by your faith, I don't know. You can get my blood pressure up. I'm just saying, I hate that shit. I hate that. I don't, it's just a pet peeve. I can't stand when dudes do stuff like that. You out making children and you're not taking care of the children you got, and you out there making more children. If dudes, anybody, men, women, one child, whatever, don't, that is the most damnable offense you could do. You're not taking care of the ones you have, and you out there making more. You're not sure how you're gonna feed these, but so you out there making those. Are you nuts? Are you damn nuts? What is wrong with you? And this is why your ass was poor. This is why how poverty happens. This is one of the things that they use to perpetuate poverty. Like, you put yourself in a situation where you're continually financially draining yourself to the point where you can't sustain or maintain yourself financially. This is one of the ways you do it. You don't know how to control your reproduction. You're like, come on, man. Come on, man. You too damn old, especially when you want to sit there on your high horse and preach to these young ladies that they got to keep their damn legs closed. Teach your wife how to close her damn legs. Or better yet, keep your pants up, bro, till you get yourself on a better financial footing. If it's so good you can't control yourself, you need to figure something out. You need to keep it. You need to stay away from her. If you can't control yourself and figure out how you guys can manage your procreation instead of going every time trying to max that copy button, you need to stay the hell away from her. Because you pulling your whole, like, there's a real possibility in Las Vegas, they could have ended the family and they could have led the family into financial ruin with that pregnancy. Because they were already leaving Las Vegas. They already left the Lehigh house, even though we found out later they still owned it. So I guess they could have technically moved back into it. But you would have been moving back into it. Then you would have been trying to cut Janelle's house in half because you couldn't afford to do the apartment, because now, you know what I mean, how could you take care of Crobin's household and the Lehigh household at the same time, and you were barely doing the Lehigh house? That's why it took y'all so long to get married, according to y'all in the book. The reason why they didn't get married right away, it wasn't because of the show or nothing else. It took them a year to get married because he didn't have the money to get married. And then right off of y'all getting married, the first thing you can think to do is have a baby. Not the smartest shit you did today. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just saying, like that tears me up every time I think about it. This is all right. Because Sarah M gifted my take on reality membership. Somebody probably like, no, bump that. This dude is a nut. He crazy pants. But yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate your generosity. Let me give you a little something, Sarah. Holding it down for a player, Sarah M. Sarah M, you got me second week in a row. You all fired up. Talk about that stuff. That is crazy. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna get off this thing and I'm gonna go downstairs just cuss in my basement for about 20 minutes. Like, this is nuts. Like, that just pisses me off. That pisses me all the way off. When you have a dude who's not taking care of his kids, making more kids. You know what I mean? That just pisses me all the way off. Because your kids don't ask to be here. They don't ask to suffer. They don't ask to go without. And if you put yourself in a situation, and granted, like, look, shit happens. People make mistakes. Stuff happens. But you fucking 40 years old, you got 13 children, you know it can pop off. Okay, this is not your first rodeo. Like, I can see you got 1, 2 kids, maybe. Look, you figure it out. Like, okay, well, I know now that I can get pregnant. 13 kids? She coming in with 3? Everybody in that damn thing fertile. Y'all don't even need to be laying in the bed together at that point. 13 kids? I'd be afraid to sweat on people. 13 babies. I'm like, I am fertile. I will knock you up. Like, you need to stay away from me. If I walk through a room and it's lukewarm, you might turn up pregnant. Okay? Straight up, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Maniacs, boy. Maniacs. And I know it's like, oh, this make good TV. This is a dumbass decision. Okay? I'm just saying. And I'm not hating on the children. You know, the situation is the situation. The kids are here. So we accept the children, love the children, you know, that we have and are here and present. I'm just saying that we got to make good decisions for ourselves. Don't let people push you into decisions. And you know what? I want to reach out to the person that, because I had one of the trad wife people reach out to me. And I've been saying I'm going to reach out to her, and I've been messing up. I'm going to reach out to her because I want to bring her on the show to talk about like her situation. She was a trad wife. Life Takes Two. So I'll be looking for you. If you here now, I'll be looking for you. I'm gonna send you some stuff. But yeah, because when it comes to stuff like that, you can be put in a situation, and this is real quick because I'm already approaching 3 hours, but I said I was only going to do 2. Damn, no conversation, no pregnancy conversation. You can put yourself in a situation where you can find yourself trapped by your own design, by them using pregnancy and children as a means to trap you. I cite this example. When I was a young man, I was a manager somewhere. I was in high school. I was a manager at a place, and there was a guy who worked for me, and he said he had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend was about to go to college. Right, she was about to graduate high school. She was going into college, and he didn't want to let her go. So he said his big plan was, and I could still see his face when he said it, and I could still feel that anger when those words parted his lips. He said that he was going to intentionally get her pregnant so that way she couldn't leave. She couldn't go to school. And after I cussed his ass out for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know, I talked to him for about an hour after that. But first 20 minutes was hot and heavy. And I told him, like, you don't do that to people. You don't make those kind of decisions for people. 1, 2, you're trying to trap her because you are too afraid to let her go. That's not love. That's not what love looks like. 1, 2, at the end of the day, they did break up. She went to school. They wound up breaking up. Then a few years later, he met a woman and they had 6, 7 kids together. They happy as hell. Okay. So you were going to ruin this girl's life because you didn't want to let her go when the person that you were supposed to be with was later on down the line. And that was also a lesson because, there was an old saying when I was a kid, mama's baby, papa's maybe. Okay. No matter what happens in that scenario, if you get pregnant, the guy's life in that situation, the father or I don't know what you call it, but the guy in that situation gets her pregnant, his life might change. His situation might change. Depending on what she decides to do, maybe he'll be affected, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be involved, maybe he won't. Even if you make him pay or contribute child support, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to be involved, because there's no court in the world that's going to make him be involved or make him be a loving, caring parent, right? And his body doesn't change, his life doesn't change. There's a possibility it won't affect him at all. So maybe it will affect him. That's why I say Papa's maybe. But it's Mama's baby, because no matter what happens after she gets pregnant, she is going to be different. Physically, there is going to be a change. There's also going to be a social change. There could be an economic change. If she decides, whatever decision she makes or whatever happens, whether it's a natural occurrence where there's a miscarriage or whatever the case may be, she is going to be different from that point forward. So it's Mama's baby. It's a burden that she's going to have to carry. And for you to put that on her, especially unwillingly, and this is where I say, you got everybody in this situation has to protect themselves. It's on Crybrows. If you just got divorced, you were freshly divorced, and the first thing you did was turn around and get pregnant by another man, tied into a family and set of circumstances for which you were not familiar, with a bunch of people who you now say mistreated you the whole time. Not smart. Him, you have 13 kids that you can't afford to take care of, nor do you have time to take care of. And you have another woman that lives in a separate place, in a separate house, and you're going to make a child with her when you're already not taking care of your responsibilities. Everybody has to take care of themselves and be responsible for themselves. That's all I'm saying. All right. I think we got something else came in. Oh, Brittany, one of the mega mods, 49 super chat. Cody got to take a shower at a hotel 2 towns over with that fertility. Yeah, right. Then you got to make sure that you rinse the tub out, because you ain't trying to knock up some stranger. Yeah. Like that dude is a walking biohazard. 13 damn kids. Are you crazy? I want to see the look. Like, I know it may be in a polygamous circles and some of these Utah families, 13 kids ain't a lot, 18 kids ain't a lot. But in most situations, most towns, you be at the club doing your thing. You walk up to a young lady and you be like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm James. Hey, how are you? I'm Michelle, whatever." And you say, "I got 13 kids." The whole club gonna stop. What? Why ain't you at work? 13 kids? There's no way in the world you making enough money to be able to provide for all them babies. You don't have a day off. You need to be at work. You need to be driving Uber on your way to work. You need to be dropping off food. You need to be doing Uber, DoorDash on your way to work. Okay? Your second job, your second and third job, 13 kids. What? That sucking sound? Yeah, that's the whole club turn it off. There's no way in the world. No way in the world. 13 kids. Hell. You walk up, "Can I get your number?" Number what? Number for what? I'm not trying to be with you, 13 kids. Hell to the no. It's he said that Robin being a divorcee gave him the ick factor. Having 13 kids for most women would be the ultimate ick factor. "Oh, I was in a relationship before that didn't work out." Oh, you drive a minivan. Oh. But you're sitting there with 13 kids. You don't have room to judge nobody. Let me give Brittany a little something. I'm just saying. Oh, these folks, boy, don't get me fired up. Yeah, guys. Thank you guys so much for participating. Let me give a huge shout out to everybody who called in, as well as the folks who contributed super chats, as well as memberships. We got Brittany, not Brittany, Mega Mod, Lizzie B. We got Gavin Val with super chats, Raiders Ma, Kathy Ferran, OG, triple OG. YouTube is my time machine up in the house. Sarah M getting things started and everybody all worked up. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. And let me give acknowledgement to our callers. We had a few anonymous, so I won't say anonymous, but we had some anonymous folks call in. We had Cherise, Sharon, Candace, Lisa, Adrian, Melly, Alexandra PF, Raider Ma, Tanya Carter, Athena, and Mary Marmolejo. I love saying your last name, by the way. Marmolejo, I love that last name. So give you guys a huge shout out. And I also most definitely want to give a huge thank you and shout out to the Mega Mods holding stuff down in the chat while I'm doing my crazy rants on the screen. They're behind the scenes holding things down for a player, keeping everything tight and right in the chat box. Big shout out to Brittany, not Brittany. And of course, Carmel Cutie's back in the house. What's going on? And we also can't forget the Master Mold, Lizzie B holding it down for a player. Thank you guys so much for everybody who participated in the chat, as well as the Mega Mods, as well as the Super Chat folks. Let me give you guys all a little something for keeping it cool and hanging out with a player. I know I'm rocking almost 3 hours up in this joint, so I appreciate you guys participating. Here it is. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody who participated, everybody who called in. Make sure you hit that speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality if you want to leave a message and be featured in next week's episode, or if you want to leave a message and just say, James, this is between us, or don't play this on the thing, and I won't do it. And maybe you'll be featured in a video. Who knows? All right, but thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys calling in. I appreciate your participation. Big shout out to everybody who shared their stories. Let's put some hearts in the chat for the folks who lost people. Hunt put some hearts in the chat for those folks. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You guys have a great night. Be safe. Love yourself. Love one another. And make sure if you can, help out whoever you can. All right? Make sure you are the best you at all times. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. Have a good night, everybody. And I'm not out. I'm still here. Why am I still here? Let me see. Oh, there we go. All right, guys. This time I'm serious. I'm out. Have a good night.